Do you ever get over listening to your own voice?
I don't listen to them.
Really?
No.
You don't listen to your own podcast?
No. Fuck no. That's like the grossest shit ever, I reckon.
Really? You don't want to like, I don't know, figure things out?
Nah.
No?
It's one of those things.
Do you learn on the spot?
It's like, it's so much content that you could be so hyper critical of yourself.
Yeah.
So I reckon it fucks your head.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be the same with like if you're surfing. Like if you just watch yourself so many times, it's like, would you change?
No, you're totally
everything
right.
about, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
would it start to take away from what you're actually doing?
That makes a lot of sense because every time I watch myself surfing, I'm like, I get way overcritical. And when I don't, it's like you just forget about it.
Yeah, and I think it could. I mean, especially this, and like I say fucking dumb shit all the time. Like I leave here, and I go upstairs, and then I'm like, why the fuck did I say that? Like you're such a loser. But I don't know, like, and
I get you.
You get crucified in like YouTube comments and stuff too. But it's just like fuck. You just have to.
Do you read the comments? Is that another thing?
Nah, I really try not to.
Yeah.
Like really try not to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, again, it just cooks you.
Fuck.
And like I've never left a YouTube comment in my life.
Yeah.
So you're getting all these people that it's like, if you're leaving YouTube comments, are you as normal as me? Like, so it's like if I had a mate that was like, dude, you said this and it's fucked up, or you're stupid or whatever. And it's like someone, I'm like, well, I know that guy's a good dude.
Yeah.
But
it makes sense.
Like,
I get you.
You get someone on YouTube or Instagram. It's like, I don't know if you're a good dude. Like, you could be a fucking moron.
You just be a keyboard warrior. Yeah.
And like, then I've had times where people will be like, they'll say something shitty.
Yeah.
And then I'll reply to them. And then they're like, oh, nah, man. Like, what? And then they want to be your friend.
Start backing off.
Yeah. And then it's like, it's just a way to get attention.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's a weird little world, bro.
It is, man, huh?
Yeah. As soon as you start putting shit out there.
Yeah.
You'd get it too.
I did a lot for a long time when I first started dating Alana. But
you bring this closer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might. I guess we're rolling.
Like what you're saying too about not watching it. You don't need to watch yourself back because people comment.
Yeah, I was going to say people tell you,
Yeah, you don't need to even see your own mistakes.
Yeah, everything's... We're pretty much started, I reckon. Don't worry about putting your phone on silent.
No, I'm always just like, where is the place where it'll make the least amount of noise if it vibrates? And if it's on the desk,
my shit's not going to work anyway. All right, Jack Freestone, welcome to the podcast, mate.
Thank you.
Pretty excited you're here. I've been a bit of a low-key fan for a long time. I think you first popped on my radar when you won the Worlds as a junior.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
That was right around the time I first started surfing. So I was like... sort of all over the edits. And
thank you,
like
man.
Going
I appreciate that.
But yeah, so you come like, I guess, a long way from then. Like you said, that was a long time ago, right?
Well, there was like 2 world titles. They're like separated by a year.
Yeah, okay.
So I won the first one, I think, in 2010. And then I think I got 3rd or 4th the year after. And then won the year after that again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So even that was in 2012, so even that feels like a long time ago.
Dude, all right, wow, that is a long time ago. Yeah, that puts that into perspective.
Yeah, that's strange now. That makes me feel real old.
Because like you're a young dude.
Yeah.
But time goes by.
Yeah, well, quick. It doesn't stop for anyone, right?
No. And especially now, like having a kid and stuff like that. Like
that makes me feel really freaking old.
Dude, how different are you to the version of yourself that won that world title in 2012? Like kid, like full relationship deal, you know?
White picket fence, everything.
Are you like full Desperate Housewives, like that lifestyle right
basically, now? Yeah. I just love to drink and create drama at the house.
It's just like cheese boards all day.
Yeah, that's it. No, I don't feel different.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm 18. I feel like I'm freaking 15. So nothing's really changed, I guess. Yeah, you just grow up. You stop being Peter Pan for a second, and all of a sudden you just grow up.
It's
you leave Neverland.
I think age is a weird thing though. Like we've spoken about it a couple of times on here, where, like, say, my parents, like kids at 20. Well, I mean, you had kids in your 20s, so it's I guess a little bit different. But in terms of the lifestyle, like I'm 30. Yeah. No kids, still just a fucking grommet. Like we'll leave town every chance I get. But it's like when my parents were 30, it was like 50-hour work weeks, struggling to keep a roof over kids, but it just seems like nowadays age has shifted, and even with like the jiu-jitsu stuff, like I started at 29, so it's like I'll be getting a black belt at 40 probably, you know. So it's like it's weird to think about that though, because when my dad was 40, he had like a beer belly and was like mechanicking on our dirt bikes. So it's like it's so different nowadays, and I don't know why that is though.
I don't know, man. Like age is just a number. It all depends on how you feel. Like
but it seems like the culture reacts different to age now, right?
Yeah, 100%. I reckon talking about your parents and our parents, like different generation, different time. Like if you look at everyone who's especially my friend group, everyone's in their 30s now. And they still look like they're nowhere near to what our parents were when they were 30.
And that's okay. Though,
and that's that's okay. And socially, that's fine.
And if it was, say, like all of us transported back into that baby boomer, we'd all be like these fucking hippie losers.
We'd be outcasts. Yeah, for sure.
Time. Yeah. And now it just seems like it's this new normal. Yeah. It's a bit of a trip when you think about how much it changes.
Yeah. I wonder if that's because like people are like, I don't know, you feel like 15-year-olds are like 20-year-olds now. I don't know. That's a weird thing.
I was thinking about that then, like, what's Banks' life going to be like? Is he going to be 60 before he even has kids? Probably. Are they going to have, like, some crazy, like, regenerative shit where he's going to be, like...
When they get old,
and it's just going to be, like, super, like, jacked at 60. Yeah. Looks like you do now. Just technology's gotten so good, you, like, can't get sick. Yeah. And that's, like, no one has kids until they're in their 60s.
I mean, yeah. He's already bigger than I am right now, so...
Yeah, where did he get such a big head from?
I've got a pretty large head, but it doesn't look like it. And you can definitely see it in him. Like he's definitely got my head girth, but just not the shape. Yeah. But I don't know, man. He's just one of a kind. He's just his own. It's the best thing in the world.
I love when you said that you've been training 4 years and you got your first cauliflower ear from him.
Yeah, that's like the only thing Alana like crawls me on is like, you better not get cauliflower ears. And I'm like, don't worry. I never will, because I don't know, just like we're talking about, if you train smart, not hard, it's kind of easy to prevent yourself from getting injuries. Yeah. So, like I was saying, like I got my first cauliflower ear not from jiu-jitsu, it was from my son biting me in the ear.
What a little savage.
Yeah. When he first got his like first 2 teeth.
They're just straight in there.
Just bit my ear one day, and then all of a sudden, cauliflower. I just tell people it is from jiu-jitsu.
Did you?
So I seem like a little bit of a badass.
It and stuff?
Nah, I just let it go.
Oh, really?
I actually didn't even. My ear just hurt. Like it was, but I couldn't tell that it was bruised or anything.
Yeah, right.
And then one time, I don't know how, I just started like, I don't know how you find things in your body, like little bumps and stuff. Yeah, yeah. But I just like somehow I just started touching my ear and then feeling my other ear, and I'm like, hang on, wait. I fully got cauliflower ear in this bit. You can't even notice it though. But I'm like, was it from jiu-jitsu? And I was like, oh no, it was actually that one time. Yeah, when Banks bit me. I can remember it specifically now. But yeah, 4 years and still haven't, touch wood.
Yeah. Dude, I walk in the gym, get cauliflower ear.
Really?
Doesn't matter.
Have you got cauliflower ear?
Yeah, like both of them are pretty...
No, they're not bad.
Not like
bad. Oh man,
they're
not bad.
But you can, compared to what they were, like, and I've had them...
That's white belt status, yeah?
But I've had them to where I had to drain like my whole... Oh, really? Oh yeah, dude. That's like...
Does it hurt?
No, I have like a weird thing with pain where like...
You got a really good threshold, like, pain threshold.
I sort of... It's weird, like even... massage balls and stuff like that. Yeah. You know how you get some people that they just won't do it.
Yeah, can't even touch it. They're allergic to them. That hurts too much. Yeah.
Dude, I just get in there every single night and I'm like, fuck, like make it as bad as I can. Yeah. And I don't know, there's something therapeutic about being in that kind of pain. And I think that same with like tattoos. Yeah. I'll do like an 8-hour tattoo session. Yeah. And just grind through it. I don't know. It's like a weird thing.
Man, that's crazy.
But yeah, the ears, they don't hurt that much. Yeah. But it's just like, because mine were bad, like the whole, like where you'd put an iPhone, like an earbud in.
You couldn't even fit that in?
Completely closed up.
Oh, wow.
Just all full of blood.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That is bad.
And I've had that on both both ears now.
Oh shit!
And like it's so funny because like you're a white belt, and then you walk into a gym and then it's just like fully puffed up, and everyone's like, "Fuck, look at this guy! Like he just wants it," you know?
Yeah, I get you.
But then I'm like, dude, I'd go home, I'd drain it like 4 times every single day, and like do the magnets and like. But just something about my ears.
How long does it last for, the draining process? Like 2 weeks, yeah?
2-3 weeks. But the thing is, like, I'd keep training. Like, so you can't...
Do you reckon that would make it worse? Or would just prolong the draining process?
Yeah. I'd drain it before training, and then I'd go to training, and then I'd put, like, the earmuffs on.
Yeah. Oh, you were, like, had the wrestling gear almost.
Yeah. So you put them on, go to training, doesn't matter, you still get hit.
Yeah.
As soon as anything hits it... Because, like,
hurts.
do you know how it works?
Well, what do you mean? The bruising and stuff?
Well, like, why you get it?
Not really, no.
Well, what happens is you got, like, cartilage, and then you've got skin that's over the top of the cartilage. And then what happens is the skin rips off the cartilage, and then it fills up with blood.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's why you get it. And then if you leave it, like the people where it goes hard, is because...
calcifies, right?
It thickens up, and then so it calcifies. So like all mine are quite hard on the inside there. Yeah. But luckily I haven't got anything around like the top of it. It's all just like in the inside bit.
Yeah.
Which
so
is
it's
not
still
that bad.
You can't really tell.
Yeah.
But man, how are some of the ears in jiu-jitsu? Holy shit! I got some friends. I don't know how they can hear.
Yeah, I can't do it. And like my coach always, he's like full old school Brazilian dude.
Yeah.
And his are alright because like no one's fucking with him ever.
Yeah.
But like he'll go like, "Bro, you're not a model," and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I just don't want to look like a dickhead." Yeah. And then the other thing is like, you go out and people will want to start fights with people that have cauliflower ears.
It's almost a target.
Exactly, because they're like, "Oh, this guy thinks he's tough," or "This guy thinks he can fight."
That's the funny thing with a lot of MMA fighters. Like I got a few friends who fight, and it's weird how many arguments they would get in. It's some people are just silly, and like I don't know if it's ego, but yeah, like you were saying with the cauliflower, people see that, and I don't know, it's like a sign of dominance.
Yeah, well,
it's weird.
Well, people like, there's definitely pub brawlers. Like we grew up in Cairns, it was pretty rough.
Oh yeah, okay, so you'd get your fair share of local legends.
It was full on. Yeah, and one of my best friends was like one of the toughest dudes in town.
Was he a fighter or was he just a tough dude?
Just a real hard upbringing dude. Yeah, like real hard upbringing. Okay. So with the environment he come from, fighting a person his age and his size didn't seem like that big of a deal.
Yeah, I getcha.
You know, when you spend your life getting beat up. Yeah. So he was just like naturally this hard dude. Yeah. So we started going out and like every 4 nights a week. It was just on.
And he was always fighting.
Yeah. And he'd smash everyone. Yeah. Like, it was pretty gnarly. But he like you just see those dudes and you'd see the people that would come to him would start him because they knew how good of a fighter he was. Yeah. So it was almost like this little test that you'd put yourself through. Yeah. And they knew that he would fight them back. Yeah. So it's like a weird thing. So I think that same thing happens with like UFC fighters or if you've got a jiu-jitsu t-shirt on or something like that. People
just that little target people like, oh yeah, I could test myself with that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So
which is like the stupidest thing.
Oh, like, especially if you don't know
what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, yeah.
I always say to like, because I've got friends that they'll be like, "Oh, does jiu-jitsu work? Would it actually do this?" And like you would have had it 100 times too. And it's like we're having an argument, but you don't know the language I'm speaking. Yeah, exactly. So it's like how are you supposed to have an argument with someone where you're not speaking the same language?
Ah, that's true.
Because I think that's even what like competition jiu-jitsu is. Yeah. It's just an argument. Yeah. And it's like who's got more words.
That's who's better. A very good way of putting it.
Who's better at arguing in this language. Yeah. But it's just like
it's an art form, I totally agree.
Well, we could sit here and speak in jiu-jitsu essentially. Yeah. We could talk about this like reverse del Hiva, berimbau, and like no one they're words no one knows. Yeah. But they're words associated with a thing that your body does that fucking strangles you.
That is true. I've never ever thought about it like that, but that is very true.
And I even think it goes like me and my buddy Callum, he's one of the brown belts at our gym. Yeah. We were talking about how jiu-jitsu is like a game, so like the overall thing of jiu-jitsu, and then there's like 100 micro games inside of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So it's like we're gonna play a half guard game. Yeah. Where you're on top and I'm on the bottom. And it's like even if you're a white belt, you could be a black belt at being on bottom in half guard. Yeah. Or taking someone's back. That's now a game.
Yeah.
You've got to escape. I've got to submit. So it's like, it's so intricate and cool, and there is so many layers to like that language.
Yeah.
And you can be a fucking expert in one little tiny bit.
Yeah.
But like, you don't even really need to know the rest. If you're so good, you can win arguments with that one.
Yeah.
With that one
totally agree.
point, you know? So what got you into that?
Into jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
I always kind of found it fascinating.
Where did you first find it?
Where did I first find it? Gosh, it probably stems from UFC, but like subconsciously, like I can remember I hated fighting. I used to hate fighting, like MMA, anything.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought it was stupid because I kind of grew up with like, around the same like kind of lifestyle you probably grew up with, like fighting, everyone just doing the same thing, like people getting hurt who don't deserve to get hurt, just stuff like that. So I was always against it. And then something just, I don't know, something switched, and then I saw it fighting as a sport. Yeah. Like it can be a sport if you choose to make it a sport. And then I watched BJ Penn. I can't remember who he fought. He came out and knocked someone out. It was right after Andy Irons died. And he came out and he's wearing like an AI wood scrap shirt. And I was like, oh, whoa, this dude's super cool. Like, he's a massive fighter. I think he was world champ at the time. I'm like, he knows Andy. Like, this is super cool. Like,
damn, that gives me goosebumps thinking like that's how you found out about it.
Yeah. Like, because
so cool.
That was the only thing, like, the only thing that connected. I was like, oh, this MMA fighter knows
Andy Irons.
I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then he came out and he devoured this dude in 15 seconds. I think he knocked him out. I can't remember what the fight was, but I was like,
can you look that up, Mix? I want to know who that was.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like 15 or 20 seconds or something like that. He knocked him out.
No shit.
I don't know if he was champion at the time or it was for the belt. I can't remember, but I can just remember it was BJ Penn. He starched this dude. And I was
what
like,
year did Andy die?
2010.
So it would have been around then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was 2010 that Andy passed. Yeah. 2009, 2010.
And then that's so
long ago.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
Yes.
And then that got you into it.
That didn't get me into it. I was just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, like, fighting is whatever. It's kind of cool. Like, I see it as an art, like, I see it as a sport and an art form. Like, I understand it now. I understand what these people do. And then probably 3 or 4 years ago, I got a lot of friends who do it. And one of my close friends, I saw how it made such a positive transformation in his life. And it, not to say he was a derelict or he was, a bad influence or anything. Yeah. I just saw the transformation it made in his life. I was like, whoa, like he was glowing. Yeah. His lifestyle was glowing. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. He had discipline, he had this, that. And I was like, he told me about jiu-jitsu. And then one of my other friends, he's a black belt, Zach Nominski. He was always trying to get me in to train at AOJ, and I was like, nah. Like, I followed their page. I'm like, they all look like crazy people. I couldn't do that. So, like, it was 4 years ago. I worked up the courage, which is the hardest thing in jiu-jitsu, or just any sport, I guess, is just starting.
Is that day one?
Is day one. It was so intimidating. And I was like, I guess in any sport, you always have to be a beginner. So I was like, I'm just going to go and just be vulnerable and test this thing out. And then I met...
It'd be harder to being an athlete in something else.
Yeah.
That was... Like, I think that was the top at one certain thing.
Yeah, so it's like... It was kind of a cool way to think about it. I was like, I want to go and start at like ground level, beginner in something else and try and work my way up again because it's a challenge, and being an athlete, you like to challenge yourself as much as possible. So yeah, I went and I walked into Flow Martial Arts, and I reckon if it wasn't for the instructor who was teaching there, Johnny Walker, I probably would have left. He was like the nicest, coolest guy. Didn't know who I was, didn't know anything about me. Was just a genuine, like, nice, beautiful human. Yeah. And that made me come back because I was like, holy shit, like, I feel like this is going to give me a whole nother realm of friendships. Yeah. That's what I felt when I walked in. I'm like, whoa, I actually just felt like a family member to this weird sport. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I kept coming back. And then, I well, I'm a freaking gypsy. I'm traveling and training everywhere. And I met some of my like closest friends through jiu-jitsu. I ended up training a bunch in Hawaii at Longman Jiu-Jitsu in Kauai. And like I said, I've got some incredible friends. One of my best friends, he's also like kind of my professor because I'm a gypsy, like I said. He gave me my blue belt because I don't think I'd ever get it.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like,
because I'm just traveling too much.
Yeah. I got an app the other day.
Yeah.
Because like I do the same thing. It's kind of like I get a lot of shit. My professor started calling me Nutella boy. Yeah. Because like I'm always training, but I'm never at our gym. Yeah. And it's called Mariune. Yeah. And you can like you can actually log your sessions. So I've started like
log in your times.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
It's so it said I trained 2.5 hours last week, blah, 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 blah.
That's
so, like,
crazy.
Get that, man.
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to have to do that.
I haven't updated
I haven't clocked in that much time this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that was in one day.
How much did you train?
I trained for 2.5 hours.
Oh my God,
because I was up in Cairns. Like, we had some family stuff, and I knew I wouldn't be able to train a lot. Yeah. Because I'll train 6 days a week when I'm injury-free and, like, feeling good. Yeah. So, I was just like, and then I broke my rib, and then I was like, I'm going to, when you come back from an injury, you almost want to do like way more than you will need to do on a day-to-day basis. Like I'll train an hour a day. Yeah. But I was like, I just really need to like push my body so that I don't know, it's like a mental thing of like an hour just doesn't seem like a lot. Yeah. Because even just in the normal coming back from injury, like I do one session, I'd be fucked. Yeah. And normally I'm like in and out, feel good, and I can train in the morning, train in the afternoon, and like my body got used to it. Yeah. But then that injury of that rib, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't surf.
That would have buckled you for a long time.
Oh, it was 6 weeks off. And then I had a week.
And then and what about the rehab process?
I didn't really do any. I just sort of started training again. But I was just like, I'll just do top.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but so I get that app, man, because
I'm gonna have to
at
do
least
that.
Then, and maybe you can show your professor, because it'd be super hard for you probably don't care. Really,
no, I don't. I truly don't care, man. I didn't really care about getting my blue belt promotion. Obviously, it was an incredible achievement because it was something outside of surfing.
It's a symbol too of like a lot of work.
Yeah. It meant so much to me actually getting my blue belt. It was pretty crazy because, like I said, it was just something that I've achieved in a different sport, like a different discipline than surfing. So that was a huge honor, and I got it from one of my best friends, and he's like my professor, I guess, Kyle Foyle, over in Hawaii, and that was so cool. But man, the people that you meet, the friendships you make along this short journey that I've had is pretty incredible. Such like an eye-opening sport, and I feel like the disciplines kind of coincide with jiu-jitsu and surfing too, which is another thing I love, the movement, the balance, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely one of the things that I have enjoyed the most. Like even, it's crazy too, dude, like to speak on that. So we just moved, like I moved back from America. Yeah. And then I always did martial arts as a kid. Yeah. So I did like Taekwondo, and I did really well in that. And then I was doing like boxing and stuff. So I always had like a martial arts mindset. Yeah. And Dad put me into that for like discipline and all those sort of reasons. Yeah. But I always picked up techniques really quickly and really well. Like I could just watch something and then do it. Yeah. And whereas like some people are better at like reading, or they get spoken, whereas I'm like visual, see it, do it, sort of deal.
Yeah, gotcha.
And
I feel like I'm the exact same.
Yeah. Like, and that's why I love studying. But I got a friend, he's one of my best friends now. We did a camp in Thailand last year, Andrew, and now like I talk to him almost every night on the way home from training. He lives in Melbourne, I live here. And like,
you would never
have met him, bro. Yeah. And like, dude is straight up one of the best people I've ever met.
It's in my crazy, life. Huh?
And same as Nick, he trains at Flow. Used to train at Flow, so I don't know if he was there when you were there. But like, Nick was on that camp with me. But like I'd moved, so I come back from America, and then I was in Brizzy, sort of just at nowhere. Like I was just staying with my parents while we moved back, and then didn't really have like that many friends around the area or anything like that. I had like kind of scattered mates. But I had a thing that I started going to where I saw really cool people every day.
Yeah, that's what I freaking love about it.
Yeah.
Outside your normal realm, right?
Yeah, and then you, like, you know, you meet those traveling sort of people, like, you know, you'd have the friends in Kauai and stuff. But to move from the Gold Coast, from Brizzy to the Gold Coast, it was just like this seamless transition because we've got a gym at Logan, and then we've got a gym at Helensvale, and we've got a gym on the Gold Coast, and everyone goes to all three. Yeah. So it's like I moved from Brisbane to the Gold Coast, and to some people that might be like a
huge transition.
Isolated,
yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not isolated. I've got my same family. Yeah. I just moved an hour, which is essentially a big move in terms of like geographic. If you move, you probably lose your friends moving an hour.
Yeah,
but
100%.
That's just not the way with that, and it's like you get a head start with friendships in jiu-jitsu, I think, because it's so fucking hard to do. And if you're a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, you've been through some shit. Yeah. You've had to put your ego aside on a daily basis. Yeah. You've been humbled. I think there's like a responsibility that comes with like being able to like fuck someone up as well.
Yeah, true.
You know, like you get a new white belt come into the gym and you're a blue belt, like you could smash the shit out of them. Yeah. You could destroy their journey in one night. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like put such a bad beating on someone that they will just never come
do it
back.
Again. Yeah.
Or you can foster that person and be a part of an instrument that like changes their life for the better. Yeah. So it's like there's all these responsibilities and it's like quite a nuanced little ecosystem. Yeah. And I think that that in itself allows you to make friends easier and quicker because it's like it weeds out a lot of people that, you know, come and go and it's sort of like people slowly funnel to like being a really legit group if you can stick it out. Yeah. You know?
Well, that's exactly what I was like trying to say. Like my transition into jiu-jitsu was so welcoming and it was so cool that I didn't have any of those dilemmas. Like I didn't have anyone that that was trying to ruin my day or trying to ruin my journey. Yeah. It just felt so like welcoming.
And the thing is that like they don't really exist. Yeah. Like you do have the power to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
But it doesn't happen. Yeah. And that's because of like a culture and because of
respect, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's straight up changed my life for the better.
For the better, yeah.
Oh, in so many ways. And I don't think that I was a person that, I guess I did need it in a way, but I wasn't searching for something like, I wasn't at like low points and like, I need something to figure this whole life thing out. But it's like, it's picked up a lot of the slack in my life. Yeah. You know, I feel like I do go every day. I do push through certain things, and then the competition side of it's been really cool. Yeah. Because have you competed in it?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, dude.
That was my,
do that
that was my, I was going to do that last year. I think last year. No, I wanted to do it when I was still a white belt. I was like, I want to do a contest and see how I'd go. Yeah. But now that I'm a blue belt, I'm like, I'm good.
It's a different.
There's some pretty big killers out there. Yeah. Like, you know, you get those blue belts who are on the cusp of getting their purple belts. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, you have that.
Yeah, you can have that.
It was cool. Like, I competed after like 2 months. Yeah. Because I could see that if you competed in our gym, you don't get special treatment, but it's like how many dudes come and go, and like I was so hungry for the big dogs to like help me. Yeah. And to me, I was like, all right, if I put this fucking team logo on my shirt, and I walk out onto the mats and I have a crack, then I'm gonna back them into a corner of like, fuck, this dude's going to comps with our rashies on, like we better help him.
Yeah, you know? I get you. Yeah.
So I like jumped sort of straight into it, but even that has actually been a really cool experience to
stepping outside your comfort zone.
Oh, heavy, bro. Yeah. And I've competed my whole life in sport. Yeah. But nothing was as intense or as intimidating as jiu-jitsu competitions. Yeah. Because it was just so unknown. I don't know any of these fucking people at all. And, you know, like, even my dad come to one of them. We drove down to Newcastle together.
That's pretty sick.
I was like, yeah, that was fucking cool too. But there's like this jacked Asian dude. Yeah. And we were fighting in a no-gi final. And Dad's like standing on the sideline and my buddy Nick was there. And he's like, you can hear him on the video camera because he was
like
filming.
Screaming at you.
The Dad's like, fuck, I don't reckon he could beat this dude.
What?
Like,
and you hear it
in the video.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Dad.
But yeah, like the dude's fucking jacked, and you'd think he would beat you up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
but that's the funny thing about jiu-jitsu. Like it to some extent, it does matter about size. Like if you're 110 pound and a 300 pound dude comes in, like, tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah,
but generally you can get away with being smaller.
Yeah, if you're the same weight, like the frame doesn't matter as much, and like you know you could be pretty strong for your size or whatever. Yeah. But I guess it just the fact that like you'd look across and you don't know that dude. Yeah, you don't know what he's got.
You don't know what he's capable of.
Nah,
no,
and it's
just,
like
you said, speaking the language.
Yeah, he could know like a lot
more words.
And then there's all these people that are watching. Yeah. So it's like it was definitely good, and to like just I guess carry that mindset into like day-to-day life. Every time I get worried about something, every time I get scared, I sort of feel like that's a point of reference now to be like, you know what, fuck this. Like I've been out of that. I've been in deep situations. Like we'll just figure it out, you know. You've
put yourself in uncomfortable situations long enough where you can like you know how to survive.
Yeah, and it's still like I was signed up to do 80cc last weekend, but I missed it. But even that whole week before is just like constant mind games. Yeah. Constant doubt, and it's like you just put yourself through this like mental warfare with yourself.
That's in any sport. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've noticed. The same with surfing.
Is that something that is well, dude, like to be a professional surfer on the world tour, like you're back on the CT this year. Yeah. That is the best 32 dudes in the world. Yeah. And what I think there's like 3 million surfers in the world that they reckon 3-4 million surfers. So it's like
I don't know. Good surfers?
No, like, I think just surfers.
Oh, just surfers in general. Yeah.
I think that it's 3 million or 4 million. Yeah. So it's like to be in the top 32 of something that 4 million people participate in, and you have to actually earn your way to that spot. Yeah, you're against like the best of the best at all times. It's like it must be hard to deal with that performance anxiety side of things.
Yeah, like, definitely. It doesn't. Gosh, it's like hard to put in perspective. But from my mind, it's like the only competitor, my hardest competitor is myself. Yeah. And I think that relates to every sport because I know where my ability sits and what I can do, but it's just all if my mindset is clear enough to basically just go out and execute what I can do. So I never feel like if I get someone in a heat, I'm like, oh, like Gabriel or John or Kelly or something. Yeah. I'm never going, oh my God, they've won so much more than me. They've accomplished so much more. They're going to smash me. It's just like, no, they're just a body. They're just a human out there as well. Yeah. It's like, I feel like a lot of people limit themselves with their mindset. But yeah, like I was saying, that correlates to everything. Like, that's any sport, any major sport, I feel like is similar. I feel like everyone's major competitor is themselves.
Yeah. And I think that it's like you're getting out of the way of your brain. And I think that at the point too where, and this is what I've been trying to think about when I am competing or like gonna go to compete, it's like it's almost like it's already decided. Yeah. By the time you're on the beach about to do your heat, the result's decided. Yeah. Yeah, there's no more you can do to get yourself ready to that point. Yeah, and I think that's what anxiety is, or it is worrying about the future. You know?
Instead of focusing on the present,
or worried about in the past. Did I do enough of this? Am I ready? Blah 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 blah.
That's anxiety.
And I think that to be on the beach, and it's like, and the way I've started to think about it is like when I'm standing there on the mat about to compete. It's like it's already over. This has been decided. Either he's better or I'm better. There's nothing that in the next 30 seconds of anxiety get my heart rate up. It can't change
anything. Yeah.
And it's like really if you think about it on like a philosophical level, it's like the future sort of already is written in that point because it's like the same waves are going to come no matter what you do. Yeah. Kelly's going to do the same turn. Yeah. John's going to catch that wave is going to appeal to John's eye. You're going to go on this one because that, and then that's going to give him priority. So it's like it's almost like it's already over in a way, if that makes sense.
100%.
So I think that's like the one thing that I've been trying to think about a little bit lately. Is like, it's over. Just go and get it done and let it play out how it's supposed to.
I try not to What do we got?
No, you're good. I'm just turning me down a bit.
I try not to worry myself out about what's going to happen in the heat. Just long as I surf every wave with my fullest ability. That's it. That's all we can do. Like our sport in particular, we rely on Mother Nature. So it's not like you can go out and predict the future, like you were saying. It's actually quite different. It feels like you have to make it's all about like instinctual feelings. And who can, it's when you're at that top level, at the top 32, it's basically feels like who's got the best instincts and who's got the confidence to be able to perform at their full ability. And I feel like whoever is showing up best in that day is generally going to win. Yeah. Like you see so many people call them upsets, but not really. Like even the best of the best always lose. So yeah, that's what I've seen with competition and what I've felt. Like yeah, I've had those feelings too of anxiety. It's you question the past, you question the future. Yeah. And you go out and you just can't even perform in the present.
Yeah, because you're so caught up.
You're so caught up in everything else.
So you were on tour in 16, right?
Was it 16 the first year was 2014, 2015. No, 2015, 2016. No, it was 2016, 2017, 2016.
Okay, so you went on and then off tour.
Yeah, I was on for 2 years, fell off tour, and then got back.
Were you on for 2?
Yeah, was on 2 years off. Then back on.
So what was what do you think attributed to like falling off tour? Because I think from me, like I'm not a fucking big surf industry person. Like I'll watch people that I like, and if I can catch a live webcast I will, and I'll follow Stab and all the fucking, but I'm not like a hardcore industry know it all sort of dude. But like from my outside perspective, you win those junior titles, and then you're just expected to be do good, like the next big Aussie dude, right? Yeah. And obviously there's always Aussies on tour, but it seems like the way you were winning the junior stuff and the way that you were surfing, and it seemed like there was like this hype around you. Yeah. So it's like to fall off tour, being that kind of guy, was that like worst case sort of scenario, or were you like panicking at that point? Or
no, I wasn't panicking because I don't know the main reason I fell off tour. It was probably just
because you were dating a lot, bro. You were just a fuck about the gram, dog.
That's it. Yeah, it was all about Instagram. I was just being an Instagram boyfriend. No, I honest to God don't know. It was I had some distractions, good distractions. Like Alana fell pregnant after, when was that? Around March. After Western Australia in 2017. Yeah. And I actually felt really confident the whole year, especially after getting third in an event. And then I felt like I just kind of let my foot off the gas a little bit, because after I got that result, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Like I'm gonna do good this year. And then it's just like something flicked in my head where I wasn't really caring as much about surfing and surfing heats.
Was that like all of surfing or just competitive surfing?
Majority competitive surfing. Yeah. It just kind of like, it was just I was just in such like a numb kind of mood to competitive surfing, like all year.
What do you think that was about though?
To tell you the honest truth, I don't know. Because it just feels like our whole life is just like going country to country, spot to spot, event to event. So it was like I got comfortable with that result, and then after a few results, I kind of almost threw in the towel because I was like, oh, fuck this. Like, this has kind of gotten too hard. Thought I was going to smash it, and I haven't. And then also, my child was about to be born, so I was like kind of focusing way more on that than I was of even surfing and competitive surfing. So it's kind of, it was actually a good thing that I fell off, because I look at it as kind of like a huge positive thing that happened in my life. Falling off tour at that specific time gave me so much more time to be able to spend with my child for that first year, which is so important. So it was a really cool thing. Like, but I honestly don't really know why I fell off. Just probably just lacked a little focus and just poor decision making during heats, and that's it.
Does it compound when you get like the media and all that, and the like attention, or it doesn't even matter?
No, it doesn't really matter.
I feel like it would be, but then again, like you've been a quote unquote famous surfer since you were young.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like you get on tour and
that's weird. I've never really classified myself as a famous surfer until I was on tour. Like that's
what I was wondering though, because it's like you sort of were a famous surfer. Like I knew about you before I was on tour. Yeah. So it's like you kind of are, but then it's like there would be all of these new things that would make you feel different.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I became a famous surfer I wasn't even a famous surfer when I became Alana's boyfriend.
Yeah. I remember that being like
it was so weird, man.
The craziest shit in surfing.
That was so fucking bizarre. It was so bizarre because stages of my life, I went like QS, not doing like I went junior series, QS, wasn't doing so well. Had a couple close years to qualifying, met Alana, and then all of a sudden I was like world junior champion, flailing on the QS, then to Alana's boyfriend. Like that's what I was known as. Like, oh, that's Alana's boyfriend, not even Jack. And then got on tour, and then I was myself for a little bit, and then fell off tour, and now I'm Banks's dad.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I don't know, really strange process, but it's been funny. But yeah.
It would have, because like, so yeah, I mean, right around when that was happening, I was living in Temecula, like we talked about before. So
fuck, that's strange. You're living in Temecula.
What have you been like? How do you even know of that place?
Oh my god, Alana! Funny story with Temecula. Alana had to do this like Samsung commercial in Temecula. What? Yeah, it was weird.
Where in Temecula? Like, what?
I don't know where it was. It was in fucking Temecula.
What did they shoot though?
They shot like this. It should be on YouTube. I don't know. It's this funny like Samsung commercial. She's pretending to be like a secret agent. I don't know.
Oh,
it's really corny and it's pretty funny.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so she went and did this, and it was a full night shoot, like shot all throughout the night, and it was in Temecula, and I went there just supporting her, and
as Alana's boyfriend.
As Alana's boyfriend. I slept in the caravan, like they had it was like full movie star setup, and they had her own caravan and shit, so I went and just passed out.
That's so weird.
We actually, and the funny story was like she shot all night, like all throughout the night. And then we left at about 6 in the morning, and I slept for a few hours. So I was like, hey, look, I'll drive. And she came out and she's in a robe and whatnot, like just looking like a full superstar. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to drive. Like I just had a coffee. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And we just get on the highway, like 5 minutes in, we get in a car crash.
Oh, no.
She's still in her like pink, fluorescent pink robe. Oh my God, it was the funniest shit ever. Nothing bad ever ended up coming from the crash, but that's my story of Temecula. My one time I've been. So when you were saying Temecula, I was like, fuck, that place is strange.
Dude, so, because when I said that, you were like, Temecula?
Yeah,
Where the fuck you live in Temecula?
Yeah.
So that's like the motocross hub.
Okay.
So that's like the Torquay of motocross. I swear,
doesn't Dan Henderson, he lives there too?
Yeah. Team Quest is like right there.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's how I when I did all that Temecula, I heard like freaking Dan Henderson was from Temecula. I was like, wow, that's a strange place to
That's why he's good at fighting. That's why he's good. Fucking nothing to do there.
Yeah. Motocross and fighting, yeah.
Dude, so all the teams are based there. So like have you ever watched Supercross or anything like that on TV?
Man. Not really, to tell the honest truth.
Yeah, okay.
Nah.
Well, all those... Like,
I know it's a fucking crazy sport.
Yeah. Like, so I lived over there and I shot for Red Bull and all these different companies, but it was all based around those moto dudes. Like, the biggest dudes live there. And they all pretty much live there. Like, it's weird. It's a weird little setup.
I get you. Yeah, I understand.
But... So I was living there, and then I was living with two dudes from Sydney. Yeah. So they surfed. Yeah. And I'd never surfed in my life because I went from Cairns to Melbourne. I lived in
Temecula?
Yeah, to Temecula.
Temecula is just land.
There's nothing
There's
there.
nothing.
If that was Australia, you wouldn't live there.
Yeah,
no
100%. Yeah.
It'd be like
living in Uluru almost.
yeah, there's nothing there, bro.
Yeah, I know.
So I spent like 4 years there, bro.
Yeah.
And
wow, good on you.
So what I did though, fucking, I don't know why, but like I'm probably the only person in the world that started surfing.
Yeah.
Whilst
at
living
Temecula.
in Temecula. So we used to get on the 15.
That's got to be in the Guinness World Book of Records or something. Yeah.
It was so bizarre. And like, so we'd go from there to Oceanside. That was like the closest
wow,
beach.
that's a mission.
Dude, and I would do it every day. Every single day.
How long is that? Like over a 2 hour drive?
No, it was about an hour. So an hour there, hour back. And I had like the big Dodge Ram fucking truck. It cost me like $400 a week to surf. I'm not even
far
joking.
out, man.
So, but yeah, so that's like, that was when you won that title. That was like 2012, 13.
Shit, man.
So that's when I was there.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then, so then the Alana Blanchard thing happened with you. And dude, you know what else is crazy?
What?
So I went and I shot a big moto thing in Kauai.
Yeah.
And fucking Layla Hurst's dad was the guy that like
Rick Hurst. Yeah.
was like hiring me water trucks and shit.
Yeah, gotcha.
So like the whole time I was in Kauai, I was like hanging out with them in Honolulu Bay.
Gotcha.
Like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So then obviously like they're friends with Alana.
Yeah.
So I remember it was all right around then.
Yeah.
That, like,
that's
you became Alana's boyfriend. How weird is that?
That's so weird.
But I just was thinking how weird it must have been for you, because there would be a small faction of people that knew who you were before you were Alana's boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's like Pink and Kerry Hart.
Yeah.
You know
it was so bizarre, man. It was the first time like I got a taste of like what being a celebrity must feel like. Like that's what it was like. It was like people wanted photos, interviews, everything. And I was like, it's just a relationship.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck. Like just relax. Like it's just two people that love each other. And everyone wanted to know all about it. And I'm like, there's not much to know. Like we just love each other. We share the same interests. Like fuck, it's weird. I get, yeah.
It was cool though today. Like we did that little bit of filming, but it's like you guys are out in the lineup together, and it's like, for any other couple, like that's just like a super cool thing. Like you're just with your chick and surfing and hanging out.
There's nothing different about us. We're just the same. We're just normal people. Everyone's normal people in this world, but yeah, it was strange. It was a strange time.
Was it like hard to deal with? Because
no,
it would have been like with the tour thing, and then like I guess probably having a kid young and unexpected would have been maybe harder to deal with.
That wasn't unexpected. That was expected.
Oh, were you planning to have?
Yeah.
Sorry,
we were planning.
to assume that you
no,
weren't.
that's fine. That's fine. A lot of people think we weren't expecting, but
I guess it was just left field to people that I guess it's because you would see it from the outside, and if you didn't know you guys, then it'd be easy to assume.
It's really easy to assume. But. Nah, nothing was hard about it. I mean, it was weird at the start, like just seeing how much
other people cared.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. Just about two people falling in love. It literally felt like some TMZ Hollywood story. But yeah, man, I'm extremely good at blocking shit out.
Yeah,
like extremely good.
So you don't read comments?
I did, and then they like crushed my dreams, so I like stopped reading them.
Really? How long did you read the comments for before you figured that
probably
out?
like the first few, probably the first few months. I was reading comments, and they were like, they were so offensive that it would just crush you. And then I'm like, I can't do this. I'm never. And then I don't think I read comments for like the next 3-4 years.
I'm surprised you answered my DM. I was like, there's no chance he reads DMs at all.
Oh, there's like I do check. Like I think everyone checks. Yeah. I check, and if there's something that
is cool,
then I'll reply to. But even then, sometimes I get some weird shit on that.
Oh yeah, it's fucking.
But I'll glance at it. I'm like, oh nope, or I just delete it.
Yeah, there's the ones that you delete are pretty obvious these days. Like you get some fucking super weird shit. You can tell like straight away.
Yeah,
it would have been weird though, like. Because if you go on any one of Alana's pictures now, like she's got over 1 million followers or something on Instagram, there would be like the most rapey weird shit. Yeah, that would be in comments. Like that just seems so fucked up that shit even exists.
But it's like we're talking about keyboard warriors, man. They feel like this sense of protection, like no one knows their identity. Like, yeah, I've read some shit and I'm like, gosh, I would love to see that person in real life, like, and see him, see him say that shit to her. Like, that would be kind of fun to see that.
It would be a bad day for him.
It would be a bad day. Yeah, especially now.
Yeah,
after 4 years of training, take him to the ground. Yeah, that's it.
Have you had a situation yet where I'm just gonna say, like, you're probably just not the dude, eh?
No, I hate confrontation at all cost. No, I've never had anything. I never even had really any run-ins before it either. Yeah,
it is easy not to get in fights if you want to not be in fights.
Yeah, I can remember one time where it was actually after I first started, like after a year of dating Alana. When I was in France, some dude came up and screamed at me in French, and at the end of it, he sounded like he said Alana, but I was just like, I did not understand one word he just said in French, and I know it was something about Alana. That was the only weird run-in I've ever had.
Yeah, right.
And it was funny because I was in the final. I was in the final against Felipe Toledo, and he was running past. He just grabbed his rashi, and I don't know if Felipe understood him as well. He probably can't even remember it. But Felipe was like, "Fuck you" to the dude for me, and I was like, "Yes, you're the man." Like, yeah, I was like, "We're about to verse each other, but you're the fucking man." Yeah,
dude, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and I don't know if the dude was even paying me out, but I can just remember I was going up to get my rashi, and this dude, he was pretty big and buff. He came up and started saying, like, just going off at me. It was really aggressive, his body language. And then I was like, oh, and Felipe was like 5'1", like no muscle tone on his body. Just comes in between us. I was like, fuck you, like to the guy. And I'm like, whoa. It caught me off guard, but it was fucking cool.
That's so close. And then you got to go out and beat him.
Yeah, no, he goes out. He smashed me, but it was, yeah.
Dude, we, just the other day, we were moving like mats to the new gym.
Yeah.
And so we go to fucking Hungry Jack's. So my coach, I don't know if you've ever seen my coach, Fabio, but he's like 120 kilos, 6'4". Like, the dude's a fucking unit. Yeah, like, he is massive. Just
psycho.
His head's like this big.
Yeah.
So anyway, 4th degree black belt.
Oh, so it'd be like fucking wrestling a fridge.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So we're at Hungry Jack's the other day. He gets out of my van, and I guess he like hits this door, the car next to me with like my van door, and then shuts it in. Like, those doors are super heavy on the Vito, so they just, if you don't expect it, they just fling open.
Yeah.
This car was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, the shittest old Corolla that you would expect to be at a Hungry Jack's service station. Yeah. That's what this car was.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I didn't know. I walk inside, and then this lady just starts fucking screaming at me like, "You fucking hit my door up!" Like, going off in like
old lady or
just like a younger sort of chick, but full bogan, dude. Crazy bogan.
Yeah.
And then she starts screaming, and then her husband is in front of me in the line with like this mullet.
Yeah.
So and then anyway, he turns around, and then he's like, "What's wrong, doll?" And then he's like, she goes, "That fucking cunt." Yeah, my fucking car. And like, there's no paint on the roof of this car.
Yeah.
Like, this
it's
car
horrible. It's a piece of shit. You probably did it justice, like doing some panel beating on the side of the car. Yeah.
Added to the collection. Dude.
Yeah.
So then, anyway, he turns around, and I'm with Shane, who's the brown belt instructor. He just won the fucking.
So just a bunch of weapons in your car.
Killers, straight killers.
Yeah.
So but Fabio's in the toilet.
Oh, okay.
And then anyway, so the chicks just got super aggressive with me, and I've just gone, "Hey lady, I don't know if he hit your car. He'll be out of the toilet in 1 minute. Yeah. Just wait, and then you can ask him."
Yeah.
And I said it that calm.
Yeah.
And then the dude gets in my face. Obviously, all he had to do was like turn around in the line, and he's like nose to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, he's like, "Do you fucking hit my car?" And I was like, "Mate, I don't know if my friend hit your car.
Yeah.
But he's about to get out of the toilet, and you can ask him.
Check with him.
You just ask him."
Yeah,
I was like,
and he probably would have felt tough looking at you.
Yeah,
like,
and then he was just like fucking standing over me. And Shane's behind me laughing, like trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, didn't give a fuck. Anyway, I'm like, "Oh, he's here." And he's like, "Where?" And he turns around, and then, bro, he didn't even say anything. He said, "Where?" Turned around and just looked at the menu.
Oh my God.
He saw Fabio out of the corner.
Does he have cauliflower ears or anything?
Oh, he does a little bit, but he's just a fridge, bro.
Yeah,
like, he's just so big. And then he's like walking out, and then Fabio's, he's like, "What's going on, bro?" And I was like, "Oh, you hit their car." He's like, I didn't hit. And I was like, mate, just fucking don't worry about it. Everything's sorted, eh?
But is that your biggest confrontation you've got in, you reckon?
Nah, there's we're actually in New Zealand for Supercross, and we're out on the piss, like playing up.
Yeah,
we're at the casino. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was with a bunch of like the big name guys that come over from America.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're out, and it's like fucking super late. It's like it'd be the same as you guys. Like, you just don't want to get selfies when you're boozed up at 4 in the morning with like a fan. So anyway, this dude is like lingering on the like at the side of the bar, and like I just see him taking photos and shit.
Like, what a dick.
Yeah, and he's like, he's coming in and he's like creeping in on the situation, and like slowly more and more photos. And I just walked up and I was like, hey dude,
stop taking photos, come on.
I just said, here's the move. Go to the bar, buy a few beers, and then bring him over. Yeah. And then we'll just like have a beer.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then he's like, well, what kind? And I was like, oh, dude. I was like, all right,
these guys.
All I'm saying is it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Everyone's boozing. No one wants their photo taken. Yeah. If you want to hang, just hang. Get some beers and say good day sort of thing.
Just cruise.
Anyway, he's like, Chad Reed's my fucking hero. All I want is a photo for my dad. And I was like, bro, a photo isn't that cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, I was like, grab, and I was trying to be super nice. I was like, grab a beer and like tell your dad you had a beer with Chad Reed or whatever.
Which is way cool.
Way cooler.
Yeah.
But nowadays, everyone just wants a fucking picture.
Photo, yeah.
So anyway, he arced up at me. And one of the boys just walked over, and it's so funny. He's like the quietest guy ever. Yeah. And he hasn't said a word all night. And he walked up in this guy's face. He's like, "He'll fucking choke you." Straight to this guy.
Talking about you choking him out. Oh my god.
And I was just like, "No, I won't." Like,
yeah.
And I was just
but
like,
in the back of your mind, you're like, "I fucking love.
I was like, I'd love
to. I'll fucking drag you to the ground." That's what you're thinking. I know. All like, boozed up. Like.
I was like fairly sober.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, no one's choking anyone. Yeah. And then Robbie's like, no, fucking choke him.
And he's like egging you on to choke him out.
And I was like, no.
What happened to the dude? Did he bail?
Yeah, okay. He ended up bailing.
That would be pretty funny if he was like arcing up about getting a photo with Chad Reed, and then Chad Reed came over and was just like, dude, fucking beat it.
Oh, but that's the thing, was like, they're nice dudes. Like,
yeah, I know they're super nice dudes, but when someone's trying to creep into that, like you were doing, like there's ways to do it. Like, just bring a bunch of beers, come on. Like,
yeah, and then like maybe you can get a photo of like him trying to be, or like
I feel like those are the people like that fuck careers up. They'll come out and someone will be doing suit, and that guy will be there. Boom, boom, take a photo, fucking sell it. Yeah, sell it, and then career's done.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's like it's not a good look. And the thing is, like, no one was fucking wasted. Yeah. There was like, he just won the race. He's having a few drinks with his friends and
just relax.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not like we're out doing crazy dumb shit.
People, sometimes people don't understand that like social like awareness. Like they're not like they don't know how to read the room. Yeah. Like obviously that's exactly what that dude's doing.
It's a weird thing too when people are coming up asking for photos, because it's so like I've never been the kind of person that got photos from someone, because maybe it's because I've always been around athletes, and it's not to say that you guys don't like taking photos with fans and stuff, but it's like
it's a time and a place.
It's a weird thing though, because it's like this parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
Like they have their own relationship with you. Yeah. But you have no idea who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's not a balanced relationship to start with. And then it's like, this person might have been a fan of yours for like 10 years. Yeah. And then to them it means something, and to you, like, it's not out of disrespect, but it's like you just literally don't know who that person is. Yeah. And then it's like this awkward intersection of these two completely different headspaces. Yeah. And then it's a photo, and then that person goes and posts it, and then you never see that person again. Yeah. And it's, to me, it's always been a little bit weird. And then from my side of the fence of like always being around athletes and filming and stuff like that, you'd see like and then walk off. And I was just like, like, it's an awkward experience. And then it's all it is like this social proof of like, I was here.
I met this person.
I met this guy. Yeah. And it's all out of like ego, and I get it, but at the same time it sucks that that's become normal, and that's become what's like expected.
True. Like there's been run-ins where like you'll be doing a signing. Well, I've had a few run-ins where I've been doing a signing for like an hour and a half, just non-stop speaking to people and signing, and then it'll finish, and then I'll just like walk down the road and go grab food, and I'll be having dinner or something, and people will come up and try and like almost jump the queue and like get personal with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I've just been signing like an hour down the road for like an hour down the road. It's not that like I don't want to have this sentimental moment with you. Yeah, it's just like there's a time and a place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand it from both point of views.
Yeah, it's just the thing too though is like, you know, if you're a super cool person,
yeah,
and you just have a genuine interaction, the phone's not out straight.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, I think if people could understand that if you walk up,
they
like,
walk to you,
oh,
Jack, with the phone,
Jack, the phone's right there,
and you know what's coming,
you know, and then that's all you're going to give them back to,
to
where
it's just like a really surface level, interaction.
Yeah, but if you come up and you're like, oh damn, Jack, I've been following you since you won the world title in 2012. You're like, oh damn, dude, that's pretty cool. Like,
thank you. 100%.
And it changed the interaction completely.
I have my best like encounters with people. I think everyone does in the surf world in the water. It's because the only time, the place they can't bring their fucking phone.
Yeah, true.
So it's like you actually get to know someone.
And you will give people the time of day.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
You're a super nice person.
I mean, like if I'm out in the surf, don't get me wrong, I have good days and bad days like everyone else, but 95% of the time, if someone's comfortable enough to come up and say hello and stuff and start talking to me, I'll happily talk back to them. And I'll share stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, it's when literally people walk at you with the phone.
Yeah.
And you just know what
you just know what's coming.
It's fully replaced the autograph.
Like I'm like a Z level celebrity, but like, yeah, I understand it. Like I understand all that. Like, yeah, like you were saying, like with those, the motocross guys, like, yeah, they must get it all the time as well.
Yeah. And you just, you know, in that situation, it's like, it's not this publicized thing that like these dudes are supposed to be like super athlete kind of dudes, where it's like it's not this normal thing where they're like Instagram, they're not fucking proper 12 whiskey on Instagram all day, you know what I mean? So it's like it is a different thing. I don't think they're held to this standard like they never drink, but it's definitely, there's a level of professionalism where like you're just not doing that shit. Yeah. And it just seems like people care more about their own photo than what they do about. Yeah. But it just seems, I would just think that anytime you walk up with a phone, it instantly, you know what they want. Yeah. They want that, and then it's the interaction's over in a second. It's like as soon as that selfie's captured,
and then some people will like judge you for being closed and like, oh yeah, he was a dick or something like that.
Off one.
Some people have the audacity to even say that, when it's just like, oh yeah, well, you put yourself in our shoes. Like, we know what's coming. Like, I'm not really going to have the biggest the in-depth conversation with you if I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that anytime I've seen people that have been like, having just leading with a conversation, like, oh dude, I did it, or like it was cool to watch you do this, or whatever. It's like, oh, he actually knows who I am. Yeah. Because then there's the other side of it, is like, who knows if they even know who you are? They just see you with a fucking rashy on, and then it's like,
real surface, like I said, it's just surface level. Like they go back to a friend and be like, oh, look who I met, like this person, like it's
funny, I got a friend that he just deleted all his Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that.
That's brave,
bro. He said to me, we were only talking about on Tuesday night, and he's like, dude, I wasn't sleeping. He's like, and he's not even he doesn't post a lot. Yeah. Like dude, I post shit all the time because I have to. Yeah. And even for me, like, I am very cognizant of, don't look at likes, don't look at comments. Like, it's hard not to though, because it's like a weird relationship. Like, me and Mick will be texting back and forth, like, oh damn, I thought this video would do better than that. I thought, because it's income. Yeah. Unfortunately, as much as this is like my favorite part of doing it, is like actually sitting down, meeting new people, and having conversations. Yeah. To keep this fucking shit going. Yeah. It's got to get views. You got to do it. Yeah. And you've got to, push it. And you feel like a bit of a whore sometimes for it. But it's like, but at times I have to be like, don't fucking check how many likes a photo got. Yeah. Who gives
Like, you got to remind yourself?
Yeah, I do, because I go there and you try not to attach, you try to make it purely analytical. Yeah. But there is times where, especially like, I don't like being, say if it's just a video of me talking, that to me is like fucking super weird. Yeah. And then you'll see them, and then they're the ones you'll be like, oh, is that weird that I posted one of like just me talking about a certain topic?
But then you'll see it'll get probably strangely get the most views or likes or something.
Yeah, and it's hard not to like put your own self-worth or like a dollar, like a
so
value.
Strange, man. Yeah, well, that's just like the day and age we live in now, where social media makes such an impact on brands and how you market yourself and everything.
Well, even like you guys just started doing the vlog series.
Yeah.
And it's like that, it's like necessary, you know, in a way. Like, and I enjoy it. I think you guys do a good job with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's the relationship with that even?
With the YouTube?
Yeah.
It's nothing. We've kind of got like an accumulation of footage, and like we always film around the house, and it started as a project that Alana just liked kind of sharing her story and hope it relates to people and helps people when she was pregnant. Because she was vegan, and there's a lot of people out there who like vegans as well, and I don't know, I'm not too big into blogging or knowing who's who in blogging, but I just always thought it was cool because she had a really cool story. She's got like obviously her whole background, and then obviously being a vegan and having a child and raising the child vegan is it's something that's a lot of people are interested in. So she kind of delved down that world about just basically telling everyone about her experiences and what she does, and then it's just kind of snowballed like generally everything does into Happy Way is what it is now.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be basically just an insight in what we do day to day around events, just that kind of stuff, what we eat, preparation. The first few right now I've been pretty surf heavy, but like because there's been so many waves. But like we're trying to steer clear from surfing actually, and have more of just like the lifestyle.
Do you both get to a point where the surfing is just like a lot, or because I mean, from
what do you mean, like?
Oh, just like always thinking about surfing, talking about surfing, or
yeah, definitely. But it's so hard because when you love something so much, it's like all you can think about. Like I absolutely love surfing, and I live and breathe surfing, so it's easy for me, and it's easy for her because she does the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yes and no.
Is it? I've never had a relationship where I've been with someone that did what I did.
Yeah,
like I've always sort of had like a separation between those two things, and I think that there's positives and negatives to both. Yeah, and I don't think you'd say one's better or one's worse. Yeah. But what is it like being with someone? Like essentially, you guys work together in a way. Yeah.
No, 100% we do.
Is it cool, or is that something you always like wanted?
No, it's not something that I was searching for. Like when we started hanging out. It was
that ass.
Yeah, basically. No, it was like we were just two people that shared similar interests. Like I guess how every relationship blossoms. Like it's just the exact same for us. So like we just shared so many interests. We have very similar personalities. And it was really cool up until we had a child. Like it was what we did actually brought us closer. It was like more bonding. Yeah. Because we live the same, we do the same job. It's so weird calling so job. Yeah. But we do the same thing. But the hardest thing about the transition into parenthood is now it's like we've got to a sense where like, fuck, what do we do? Like now, like I have to go do the tour. She's thinking about doing the QS. But at the same time, like we're trying to raise a child. So we're in this world, we've been in this world of limbo for like the last year because it's just been so super hard to transition to parenthood because we both do the exact same thing, but we're both kind of at the top tier of what we do. So that's another thing of the Happy Waves of vlog is like kind of giving an insight into how we like manage, to the balance, how we manage that, because there's no one we can relate to really in any sport. In any sport, you've never seen top two like professionals in male and female. You've never really seen them like have together, a relationship and start a family. Like so,
especially when like with surfing, it is quite equal at the top.
Yeah, definitely.
The tour, like it's the same sort of length. Obviously, the prize money is even the same now,
which is cool.
So it's like if you know. to compare it, it's like a lot of times the female version of the sport takes like it's a lot different to the male top end of the sport. So it's like with surfing, you guys are on quite an equal plane too.
Yeah, 100%. And the good and bad thing about surfing is it's such an independent based sport. Like it's pretty freaking greedy. Like it actually is, because
I think to be the top level of anything, you've got to be insanely greedy.
Yeah, which is like, again, it's like bizarre for us because we're not greedy people, but we do this pretty greedy job, which is surfing, which is all based on how you perform like individually. So yeah, it's strange. Like both of us wanted trying to do the tour and also trying to raise a child is definitely like this weird transition that, like I was just saying before, like we've got no one to relate from. Yeah. So if people, I don't know, and like that's something we're trying to show in the Happy Waves is like how we're handling that. I think we're doing pretty well. It's pretty cool. Like everyone says, you just got to find the balance. Yeah. And that's pretty true. It's just balance into making and keeping everything happy.
Yeah, I think as well, probably what helped you guys from the start is because, like, say for Alana, like she was super famous. Like at that time you guys got together, it was like every GoPro commercial, Samsung. Like, it seemed like she was the poster girl for surfing.
Yeah, 100%.
Just in general. Yeah. And like even if you like, there were two surfers in the world people would know if they knew nothing about surfing. And that was Alana Blanchard and Kelly Slater.
Yeah, I strongly agree.
And that's like got to be a weird thing for her.
100%, yeah.
And to be like a girl and a good-looking girl, and to be famous to those people because she's hot. Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. And it's like, Kelly's famous because he's won 11 world titles. Like, they wouldn't know that Kelly does sick turns or he's really good at pipeline or that Alana's got that trademark style. Or they don't know anything about her surfing. It's like chick, hot, and Kelly Slater.
Domination.
Yeah. And there's a weird disconnect there because it's like the dude, it's like based on his performance. Yeah. And then the chick, it's based on how she looks.
Yeah, the image,
So it's like, I feel like it probably helped at the start that you at least had an understanding of like what her world was like.
I don't think there's anyone in the world who would have more of an understanding than I do until, you know, just...
Because you've been objectified
by so many women. Forever. No, I'm just saying, like, she's been in the limelight for so long of her career, and then she's had this transition into parenthood, which is fucking hard on any mother. Yeah.
Let alone doing it in the public eye.
Doing it in the public eye and trying to maintain this career of, you know, this surfer. She's done incredibly well with that, like incredibly well, and she's back to normal. She's absolutely back to probably surfing better than what she did before she had bangs. Yeah. So yeah, like I think like I was talking about, the balance is something that hopefully we can master.
Yeah, well, she was saying this morning about you're probably going to be away for like 2 months.
That's the hardest thing about...
Like, that's fucking gnarly.
That's the hardest thing about our tour, is like, because it's like, it's, again, it goes into this greedy realm. It's, sometimes we get lost with like the decisions. What's the right decision? Is it like, do I not see my family for 2 months, or do I fly, you know...
Flog yourself out.
Yeah, do I fly Alana and my child? Yeah. Do I drag them across the world with me? Do they go back to Kauai?
Or do you go back and forth?
Do I go back and forth?
That hurts your performance, like the selfish thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, like I was saying about, there's no one we could really draw inspiration from, because I don't think there's ever been anyone in the world, or any two people in the world, to come together and do this kind of thing. So, man, we're fucking trying to figure it out.
Well, it's crazy too, man, because like, there's definitely been dudes like, obviously I don't know the ins and outs of any of it, but like Mick, and he got a divorce from, you know, it's hard to be on the tour. Like, there's guys that have like had relationships on tour and that's ended, and they weren't even, their wives weren't surfing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the tour is like, it all looks like rainbows and fairy floss, but it's like, it's kind of a pretty dividing sport. Like you see the guys who even do have families, like it feels like they're not really even home that much. And I hate, like, I love that people have got families and are happy, but like I now that I have a child of my own, I want to be there for every freaking second, like every word he says, everything, like. So that's where we've been having so much trouble, is like the separation is pretty crazy on tour. And yeah, like we're just trying to find that balance.
Yeah.
Keep going back to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like it's like literally where you're at right now.
I know.
Like those decisions.
This is the hardest thing, because now that I'm back on tour with a child and Alana's decided to do the QS, it's like, fuck, it's really dividing. Like, it's like she's going to be over there, I'm going to be here floating around for 2 months, she's going to be there floating around, and it's like, fuck, we don't really ever get time to, like, except for the first 3 months of the year, basically, is the only time where we don't get divided.
What was it like then? Because from memory again, just from outside in, you moved to Kauai when Alana was pregnant, right? So you guys were based out of there.
We spent a lot. Well, we found out Alana was pregnant in Australia, and then, man, she's the one going through this like crazy transition with her body and stuff, and also giving birth. So I was just like, hey, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable, like, let's go there or be there. And she was like, oh, I want to be, give birth at home. And I'm like, that's it, like, let's just move, like, we'll just go be in Kauai and base ourselves there for the rest of the year.
It's so sick too though, like,
it's incredible. For anyone that's never been, it's not
amazing.
It's not the worst place in the world, but like, she's kept doing what she was doing up until about 4 or 5 months pregnant, and then from there on she was just based in Kauai. And then we're basically there for over a year. Like, kind of, we were based there for over a year. I was still traveling and doing the QS, and she was just hanging. So but now that, like, Banks is getting older, we plan to spend a lot more time in Australia.
Is that the plan? Would you guys want him to grow up here, or he's just
still
gonna be
undecided,
world,
man? Yeah, he's gonna be a child of the world. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Like, everyone's like, what accent will he have? I'm like, fucking whatever accent he wants. Like, yeah, I don't care as long as he's happy.
That was like the thing for me living in the States, was like, I was always like, fuck, I just can't imagine bringing up kids there. I mean, Kauai would be different.
I love that so much.
Oh, that shit cracks me up, dude.
Yeah, I know, dude.
But like,
every time I hear that freaking place.
Oh, that's fucking funny. There's not many people that have like amazing. No one even knows where it is.
I know, that's the funny thing.
That's so good. But yeah, like, for me, it was a struggle, like, because I fucking love Australia, dude. Like, and that's the reason I didn't
love Australia.
It's the reason I didn't last over there either, because I just frothed home so bad. And it was actually on the Chad Reed podcast that he gets a lot of shit because he's got like an American accent. He's lived there for fucking ever. And he always like adopted the American culture. Like, it seemed like instantly, and to Australians over on this side, it was like, dude, he just fucking dropped us. But he said to me at the end of the podcast that he knew right away that if he didn't leave Australia behind mentally, that he wouldn't be able to be that selfish, top of the world athlete.
Fucking true, man. Yeah, that's so true. Everyone always asks me what's my favorite place on tour, and I always just say home. Yeah. And I understand.
It's hard to let go.
It's so hard to let go of that.
And you feel guilty. Like, I would stand in like every subway line, and I just wouldn't say tomatoes. I was so staunch.
Yeah, like, tomatoes.
It's tomato, cunt.
Capsicum?
Yeah.
Peppers? No, capsicum.
Yeah, bell peppers are capsicums, bro. Put them on my fucking sandwich. Get it right.
Yeah, get it right.
But like, it was funny because I always was so homesick.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was there for 7 years or whatever. Like, it lasted a long time. But
that's a good chunk of time.
I never got over it, the Aussie thing.
Yeah.
And then when Chad said that to me, it was like an instant light bulb moment.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm so fucking glad I didn't get stuck in that spot while I was there. Like, it took me to realize that like, okay, it wasn't America necessarily. It was just the fact that I never let go of home, because I had like this weird thing against it in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like, that was sort of the thing he said, is like, I had to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, if you get caught in that, like, dude, Australia's just the best country ever.
Yeah.
Like, you can't leave. Like,
it is. I've struggled that in the past. I still struggle with it, man. I've become more comfortable with just living out of a suitcase, basically. But yeah, like, that is so true, man. Like, especially for what he probably had to do. Like,
you
You had to do that.
Yeah, and it's definitely hard too when, like, I read you posted about the momentum thing. You were saying you had like a hard upbringing sort of deal. Yeah. So again, outside in, it seems like you and Cruzy and those boys. It seemed like what I guess I've just put two and two together in a way of like when you said that, and then I always know how tight you guys have been. Yeah, it's like do you feel like you were almost raised by like those boys? Yeah, in a way. And like, what was it with your upbringing that was like that sort of tough deal?
Oh man, well, strictly just off watching that documentary, you don't really hear. I know that a lot of good surfers, have harsh upbringings, but you don't really hear people's stories, especially people's story that you admire. Yeah. So when I was sat down and watched that documentary, I was like, holy shit, we've all had such similar like upbringings. I was like, I fucking feel like I'm part of the momentum generation. Like, if I was in their time, I would be in this movie. That's how I felt. Yeah, I just kind of, I guess you're a product of your environment. And I was a harsh upbringing. So like, with that harsh upbringing, I don't think I would be here where I am today
if you didn't.
If I didn't have that, 100%. Which is a scary thought, because now I've got a son and I can do all I can to.
Dude, right?
Yeah, this is like the double-ended sword theory. Yeah. Like I'm like, fuck. Like I had I'm not going to say I had a crazy hard upbringing, but it was somewhat difficult. I'm like, fuck. Though all those tests made me who I am, what's it going to be like for my son who doesn't have to go through that? Yeah. Like, because every great athlete, their backstory it's generally pretty gnarly and damaging. Like their upbringing is pretty insane. And you think about it, like from like the LeBrons, Michael Jordans, like everyone had fucking.
Look at what Mick had to go through.
Yeah, Mick, like fucking. It's in every sport. Like basically the top like athletes have had fucking crazy upbringings. I can't really even name some off the top of my head who haven't. Can you?
No, I mean it's hard to think. Golfers. That's really like the only, but that's like, that speaks to that. Like that's an elitist sport. True. And those are the only athletes that do good. But you look at like, hang
on, I gotta piss real quick.
Yeah. Just go out the door. We'll
okay, sorry.
Pause this shit.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta piss.
I can squirm now. That piss was like 1/8 orgasm.
Wait, how good do they feel sometimes?
When your teeth start floating? Oh, my teeth start floating. My like eyes start watering up.
Comes on quick.
Yeah, that did, man. I'm super hydrated though. That's why.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I'm like, this fucking podcast rookie being smashing that shit.
I know, dude.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Yeah, probably like, dude, actually, who does have privileged fucking upbringings that are top?
Who? Yeah, but
wakeboarders.
Okay.
Fucking Harley.
Yeah. But like, fuck, his work ethic is pretty next level. I was gonna say,
like, what is the end of that spectrum?
Yeah.
Is when you get those kids that have such privileged upbringings in a way. Yeah. They oftentimes have to deal with like really full-on parents. Yeah. And then they're going through that struggle. Yeah. So it's like they're almost, you either get the guy that's like crazy talented and, well, like look at like maybe like a Medina. Like he's always had, but I guess they were pretty poor and stuff. But I guess like the father thing of like when you've got those parents that are just like super supportive, involved. Yeah. It's almost like you get that level of talent, and then you sort of have to deal with or navigate those weird relationships that come with like your father or your parents, like putting everything into it, and then there's pressures there, and you either fold from that pressure or that pressure then propels you on to be like great in a way.
And that's where I always like struggle in my mind of like,
I think about that with
how the fuck do I like raise my child so he's just he shares the same values as I do. Like I don't want him to experience anything that I've experienced. There are things that, obviously surfing and whatnot, but like, I'm like, that always scares me. as a parent. I'm like,
it's good though that you'll admit that, because I mean, I've brought it up to guests on here, and I like know their kids and shit, and I think the same stuff. I'm like, fuck, man, like, what are you gonna do, like, to make sure your kid's not a little fucking asshole? Because like, so Kerry Hart, his daughter Willow, she works at the shows. She worked backstage.
How old is she?
She's like 11 or 10 or something like that. But they pay her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they give her like $20 a show or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're touring every night. So she's getting like $20 a night, which is good cash for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like even him, because he had like a fucking crazy upbringing, dude. Like he struggled hard, and so did she. Yeah. And then they come together, and it's like she's one of the biggest fucking stars on planet Earth. Yeah. And then they've got these kids that are like living in private jets and in like all these 5-star hotels. Crazy shit, and, you know, so it's like, it's that balance. But he said that he makes sure that she works and she just doesn't get shit that she doesn't need unless it's out of that money that she earns on the road.
That's good parenting right there.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like you can do it. So I mean, on your end, it's like, it's possible.
Yeah, 100%.
But
it's possible.
Something that I think people aren't always cognizant of.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it would be hard. Like, I knew the sacrifices my parents made for me. Like, we didn't have a lot of money, and it was like, I knew how hard it was. Yeah. So I think it does make you appreciate that kind of stuff. So I think it's like being aware of the effect you can have on your parent by just giving and giving and giving. Yeah. Because that's your instinct, right?
Fuck, that's our instinct right now. I've actually been pretty like aware of it. I'm like, he has so much shit that he doesn't need. Mm-hmm. Like, you go out and you buy these like organic fucking toys, like, you know, no chemicals, and he'll throw it to the side and he'll just go and pick off a lid off like one of our containers and he'll play for that for 2 hours. I'm like, fuck, like,
what are we doing here?
What are we doing? Like, this is silly. Yeah, and it like, yeah, like that, like I was saying, that was my, like, some of my biggest fears were like raising him to just be a good human.
Yeah, I mean,
and have a good work ethic.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a legitimate concern. Like, I see it in my friends, and I've seen it in, you know, a lot of different situations. But I think that the people that let it happen are just the ones that aren't really aware of it, or they're aware and then they're sort of like pushing it to the side a little bit. Yeah. Speaking from someone that has fucking jiu-jitsu mats in his garage and studio and no child, like, here I am dishing out
parenting advice here. Oh, like, man, it's gonna be, mate, it is gonna be a rude awakening when you have kids.
I'm sort of,
not in a bad way though. It's just in a fucking confusing way.
Yeah,
like it's like you're thrown into the deep end of life. Fucking just swim, just don't sink. That's basically it. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It's the thing though with me is like, I know how selfish I am. Yeah. Right now, and that's the thing is like, do I really want to give up all of this freedom? But then I talk to people like you, and you talk to everybody that has a kid, and they're just like, fuck, your life doesn't even start till you have a kid.
That's basically it, man. The like pure love that you could have for something that you create, you can't replicate it. And it's like the feelings you go through with, like, in the transition to parenthood, like, you can't describe. It's a love like no other. It's pretty crazy. It's a very like spiritually bonding connection you'll have with your family, like with your partner and your child, once the child is brought into your life.
And do you think then that, because I believe in accountability over everything, and in terms of getting performance out of yourself as a human, I think that when you've got something to be accountable for, that you can't get around, there's no excuses, there's no you can't intellectualize a way around it, you know? Because I think that's what I've done in the past, is like, the shit that I've done that hasn't worked, I've just found a way to like intellectualize my way around the accountability of that situation. Yeah. And then you can make it not matter. But I think a child that you have created, you can't get, if you're a fucking decent human, you can't get around the accountability of like having to perform and care for that child.
100%. 100%. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, you're accountable for a human's life, like, and it's so much bigger than your own. So Yeah, it's like you said, like, fuck, there's no way around it.
I'm excited for the because like you just said one thing, like, oh, I don't want him to do this, I don't want him to do, like, don't want him to be in this entitled brat sort of style.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think about the shit people that there are in the world right now that you encounter on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. It's like, you've got a chance as a young dude with a super cool partner to create a fucking superhuman.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, that's, you have a chance to mold this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's going to have good genetics in terms of like his mental capacity and like what his parents are capable of. He's going to be in a secure income family.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've got a chance to give this kid every single tool that these fucking people that you run into in life on a daily basis that are just shit cunts. You know, you've got a chance to like mold a human into like a really special person.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the thing that excites me in a way, is like, everyone always says like, the world's this and that. It's like, dude, you get it. Like, think of the advantage you can give your kid by just like giving him tools and fucking making him, you know, do sports, like making him think critically for himself, giving him responsibilities, like all these tools that you can do as a good active parent to like create a fucking superhero.
Yeah, true. Yeah, man. My whole philosophy before that is just creating a good human before you create a good athlete or whatever they want to be. Yeah, we have all the tools and resources, I guess. But again, I just feel like there's like some weird, like, I don't know, something pulling me towards like, I don't want to mold him into whatever he doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know when that age will come where he's like, fuck, I want to be a dentist or something. I'm like, fuck, I don't care. You can just be the happiest.
But I feel like you're just already there, bro. Like, honestly, I feel like you're already there.
No, but these are just some of the thoughts I have. Yeah.
But it's like, if you are thinking about that to that level now, it's like, it would be quite hard to, like, how are you you're not going to miss the fucking signs. Like, you're worried about the signs, you know? And I think that it's very obvious what someone does and doesn't want to do if you're aware of like you know, the signs and shit like that.
I get
like you know, you can, like Jackson Dorian. Yeah. That kid wants to surf.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's like someone who I'm hugely inspired by is Shane Dorian, and just how he's dealt with everything from his, you know, his upbringing to his, you know, his you know, his competitive career to just like the transition. My biggest thing that I admire is his transition after competition. Is like how he's just like constructed himself around like, you know, things that he absolutely loves and his family. Like, it's the coolest thing in the world. And see, like, I don't know how loaded he probably is. Like, he's probably very financially, he'd be pretty financially secure. But it just seems like he's so content with what he's got, like his family, his surroundings, his waves, and he's just like, he's captured in love. I don't know. He's just surrounded his like his little tribe with love. It's so cool, and I could see it. I could feel it. Yeah,
and I think that, dude, that's a guy that's in your exact position.
Yeah, that's
and he's raised a dope little kid.
Yeah,
but I think that it is hard in what we were saying before, in like the world we're living in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's a different world to what it was when, you know, it's so weird to say when we were growing up, but it fucking is. Yeah, it's so different. It is so fucking different.
The phones, bro. Like, that's the thing that I think that's the thing that.
Oh, I fucking hate my phone, man. Yeah. I hate that how much I need it. It's so fucked. Like from like 7 a.m. as soon as like I get out of bed, it's just like this weird reaction to check my phone.
Dude, it is.
And I'm aware of it too. I'm like, God, I like grab my phone and I'm like, press the flick up and then Instagram button. What am I doing?
Yeah, like, it's a fucking drug. Like, it really is. There's a pull to it, eh?
Yeah, I've almost felt like just fucking launching my phone off the balcony.
It's funny though, because for me, I would use so like I got a personal Instagram and then I got the Gypsy Tales one. Yeah. And before I started the podcast, I'd like post stories and I'd like post photo, and now I don't really post stuff on it that much. Really at all. Like, you'd have to go, it's like every couple of weeks where there's something where I'm like, I feel like I probably should do that.
Yep.
But before, it was like a regular thing.
Yeah,
I'd be like posting photos, and then this thing came along, and then it's almost like it wasn't until I experienced like a heavy volume of people that will follow and will message, and a sheer amount of like people listening on iTunes, and you get aware of like an extreme end of it.
Yeah, gotcha.
And now it makes me want to pull. Like, well, it has made me pull back personally off it. Yeah. Because where I'm like, oh, fuck, that's
And now
weird.
you're more focused on the business side of Gypsy Tales.
Yeah, and it's like, but you have to do that. Yeah. So now there's this thing of where, like, I have to do it, and I couldn't pull the plug. I could pull the plug on my personal one. Yeah. But again, it's like I'm not using it. Yeah. But it's funny that it took me to be on an extreme end of it to realize. So if for the average person that uses it all the time, that they probably won't reach it's not like I've got a fucking million followers or anything like that, but you do reach an unnormal level of it, and then you're like, oh, this is probably something I just shouldn't do at all. Yeah. But now I'm in a position where it's like that needs to happen. Yeah. But I didn't need it Instagram before I started.
Yeah, but now you're in this position, you kind of
I realize.
Are you on your phone a lot?
Yeah. I'm on my phone a lot with it just work shit though, you know. But I really don't look at a lot of stuff.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I'm not like scrolling, and I've got back into reading.
Yeah, that's good.
Like a lot. So
that's one thing I really want to do.
Dude, you just gotta find the right book, man. Like I'm reading this book called Sapiens. Yeah. And it's like it's a pretty thick book, but it's like the complete guide to human history. Whoa. So it literally starts like Big Bang to now.
That's a fucking that's a wormhole.
Yeah,
right?
It's fucking incredible though. Yeah. And it's crazy because so much stuff makes sense now. Yeah. To me. And I've always tried to be quite up on different things, and I feel like I would be well read in like certain aspects, but this has blown me out of the water. Gotcha. Like there's so much stuff that I just didn't know. Even the way, like, the biggest thing, bro, is how, like, where religion came from.
Because here we go. We're going to dive down this.
We don't have to. we don't have to.
Yeah, let's not go down religion, but we will.
But it's not into beliefs and stuff. Okay, but it's just interesting to see where it's come from.
Yeah. Okay.
So the problem is, and this is what has given me, it's like a cool perspective I've got from reading this book, is that we only ever really judge like a situation based on how long we've existed. Yeah. Unless you really know, like even going back 30 years or 40 years, or like you hear what your grandpa said about when he was alive. Yeah. That's really like the only kind of time frame that you get to like look at things. Yeah. But if you can look at something from like 300,000-400,000 years, and then you can see the change, because like the big thing is like I'm reading this book as that Christchurch thing happened. Oh. And it's like so fucking heavy that went down, and then you think that, I was fucking, like maybe one of the worst things we've sort of had to go through in recent memory.
Yeah, 100%. Since Port Arthur?
Yeah, really, yeah. But I just think Port Arthur was just like some fucking psycho. And obviously this guy's a psycho as well. Yeah. But this is so motivated by like very disturbing beliefs. Yeah. And they're wrong. Yeah. Like, and this is one of the things, like, I don't know where you sit on this idea, but like people saying like, I don't think you should show his name or his face in terms of just give the dude notoriety. Mm-hmm. But I think people should be encouraged to, like, he wrote a manifesto. It's like 72 pages.
Who, the
shooter. I started reading it, and everyone's
like...
When
was it? Before or after?
He posted it like the day he did it.
Okay, shit.
So it's like, and everyone's like, don't read this, delete the links, blah, blah. But it's like, all right, well, I wanted to read it because I wanted to understand the headspace you would have to be in
to do something like that.
To kill 50 fucking people in a church, you know?
And defenseless people, it's fucked up.
It was gnarly, dude. And, you know, everyone's saying, like, don't read this, don't read that. But to me, I started reading. I haven't read all of it. Yeah. But, like, just in the first couple of paragraphs, like, his whole thing is, like, by 2100 there'll be no white people left in Australia because of like crossbreeding and shit like that. And it's like, bro, it just was weird to me when I started reading this book.
Yeah.
And it's like there were 6 species of humans essentially on the world, and we're the only ones left.
Yeah.
As Homo sapiens, and then we're all come from the same thing. The only reason we have different skin color or look different is because we just went to different regions of the world that had different climates. Like we're the same fucking thing. Like there is no white people.
Different. Yeah,
there is
100%.
no white people.
Yeah.
There's no Asian people. There's just humans that look different because of where the fuck they grew up.
Exactly.
And now the thing that happened is like we got segregated and we had these little worlds that we inhabited and we didn't really know about, like if you lived in Australia before the internet or before exploration, you don't know that there's Russia and you don't know what those people look like. That person is never going to breed with this person. You're never going to get a half caste Australian Russian dude. And it's like, that's the mentality that this dude's in. Is that we're separate. And it's like, if you understand all of it, it's like at some point, yes, dude, there will be no white people. But who gives a fuck? It's not how it's supposed to be. It's not like this whole thing.
It's not the be all end all.
This fucking world we're on just keeps turning, and you're going to live to be, 80 years old? And then you're going to fucking die. And that's it. The world keeps turning. This whole thing, this like cultural ride we're on. And it's like his thing of like the white people, the fact that there's going to be no white people by 2100, to me that doesn't matter. And it's like that's just this cultural thing in his head that he's like attached to belief to.
Color is nothing. Like you take the skin off our bodies, we're all the exact same.
And if you were born in Africa, you would be black for a reason. Because you're in the fucking sun. Like you're gonna die. You're gonna die. It's
our bodies adapt to whatever we're around. I was reading something, I don't know how true it is, but if we were to be, if we had centuries of humans being born near the water or on the water, would eventually adapt to have gills and basically become mermaids and mermaids. I don't know if that's true, but I'm like, our bodies have...
That's the way it goes, though.
Yeah, but our bodies are so strange that I feel like we adapt to everything. Like they're fucking superhuman. You break a bone, it fucking heals. Scratch yourself, it heals. Like it's there. I feel like it possibly could happen. And that
you think about so like there was one spider or something that I was actually listening to it on a podcast, and it's like now it's called like a scorpion spider or something, and it's got like this tail or the coloration, and like how nature works is there's like this one thing that has like a bit of a different deal, and that is either good for their survival and reproduction or it's bad. If it's bad for their survival, they die. If it's good for their survival, they breed, they pass on that gene. And it's like over and over and over that gene gets replicated. It's just this constant mutation. But then it's like in our world as we exist, looking at it, we just go, oh yeah, that's that spider. But in, 300 years ago,
it was a completely different thing.
That was a fucking outcast, weirdo, freak, one of. So it's like you just can't look at life in the context of time as you know it.
Everything's going to continue to evolve.
And I just think that when it comes to especially that Christchurch thing, it's like, people say with immigration, and it's like that is an issue, but it's like that's an issue of our time now. Eventually that issue will get solved. Like I think people like to look at it as like this linear thing where it's like if it doesn't, we're just unlucky that we're born in the time where we haven't figured out that problem yet.
I gotcha.
But there was a time where we lived where we hadn't figured out money yet. And we were paying for shit in sacks of barley and fucking potatoes. And then the people, like those people dealt with that problem thinking that it might never get solved. But now we just give someone $4.50 and they give us a latte. So it's like, it's just, it's a problem of your time. It's not necessarily this. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, it's not a reason to kill 50 people.
100%.
It's a problem of our time. And there are problems constantly. And you'll solve this one and then it'll lead to a new one. And it's just sad that someone would think that the solution to a problem that is only specific to our time is killing 50 people, But for me, I think it was why I think the whole reading thing is cool is because like just that one book helped me understand that situation better. I feel like it helped me deal with the situation better. I could understand and almost have sympathy for a person that would be that fucked up and was that uneducated and that wrong about something. Yeah. And then you're just like, that dude needed help.
Do you reckon there was something like he was, I don't know, neurologically impaired or something? Or
he just seemed like he was a normal dude. Like, bro, people can get radicalized, man. Yeah. Like, you think about, like, let's say a vegan thing. Yeah. How fucking radicalized are some vegans?
Yeah, it's true.
And you wouldn't say that someone that would... I'm sure a vegan has beat someone up over an argument about
I'm
being
sure
a vegan.
There has. So, well, another good topic is Donald Trump.
100%. Yeah. So people get... I think it's way easier for people to get radicalized than what people think. Yeah. And I think that it's easy to say that there's something wrong with them. Yeah. But it's like... Is there something wrong with them?
Yeah, you just don't know.
Or it's like, it is just easy. Because, look, again, vegan. Just eating a plant-based diet. Some people can get so psychotically... But then you can get people like yourselves that it's like, it's just a fucking normal thing. And I think that's like even the Muslim thing. And that's what people say is like, oh, well, look how normal most of us are. Yeah. But, you know, you can't just say like they're some fucking weird... crazy person.
Yeah,
it's like
I know when it's a particular topic that would just divide them from the rest. That they have very strong beliefs on.
Yeah, so and I think that it's just that they're the one they get like manifested the most because there is so much sort of like tension in it. Yeah. But dude, in this book it was saying that so it went from like the Roman times to then like Catholicism was like the main religion. So like in the Roman times, they worshipped like a ton of gods. Yeah. So there was literally a time where it was so normal to worship the god of fertility, the god of rain, the god of lightning, the god of war, all these different gods. How crazy would it have been if you told those people that like in the year whatever, they're just going to believe in one god. Yeah. And then these two people, these two factions of religions that believe in just one god, they're just going to kill each other forever.
Yeah, 100%.
Or people that believe in the same god, but written in a different way, will kill each other. Yeah. They would be like, get the fuck out of here. Zeus would never let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%.
So it's just, again, it's like a problem of the time. Yeah. So you just can't get crazy wrapped up and think like that the solution is going to be right now. Like you don't even see solutions to that kind of shit. No. Like there's never
what
just
is
like
the solution? Yeah. There is no instant solution.
And it's just everything just takes time. And it's like we might just be those unlucky motherfuckers that grew up when you didn't have coins and you couldn't just go and buy something. Yeah. Like that was a problem to them. Yeah. So, but that was a fucking weird tangent. But it's just cool. Like reading has sort of been something that I've used to replace social media.
That's fucking in a really way. Cool. So I wish I could do that too. Dude. It's so strange I'm saying I wish I could read a book. It's fucking, that's weird. Like I should.
I'll literally buy this book for you, dude.
No, I am. It's like I read a few books. The hard thing about now specifically is just finding the time. Like
well, you're usually on planes, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I haven't been lately, but 100%. And usually if I am on a plane, it's probably the hardest time as well. If I'm with my child. Yeah, okay. He's bouncing off the walls, man.
That's different for you then. What I've been doing, so, because I was the same, I'd get up and I'd get in the scroll hole and then it's like all of a sudden, it's like 25 minutes. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah. That was not 25 minutes. Yeah. But so what I'll do, I'll basically, if we've posted something and I like want to see how it's doing, then I'll look at like the YouTube app and just see where shit's at. And then if there's like DMs, I do try and get back to people that are like genuinely good people that want to like.
I try and do that as well.
So I'll do that and then I get up, I make a coffee, and then I will drink, however long it takes me to drink my coffee is how long I'll read for. Like no TV, no nothing.
That's sick.
Let the dog out for a piss. Yeah. And then I feed him, he'll sit on the couch, and then I do my coffee and a book. And the other thing too that I've been doing that has been really good is reading every day, even if it's just one page. So like...
Dude, when I do that, I read one page, I'll forget it, have to reread it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just read the same page if you have to.
Yeah.
And like, I'll even go back like half a page.
Yeah, Alana does the same thing too, man. The amount of times I've seen her read the same page, like reading for me, especially at bedtime, it's like melatonin. It's like a sleeping pill. I read the title of the book and I'm like drowsy.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Because it's what's the other option, like lay awake or get on your phone, you know?
Yeah.
So, but
definitely go on Instagram for another hour when you're in bed.
Fuck that off.
Yeah. Like, I'm not reading, dude. I'm just going to stay on Instagram forever. Yeah.
The gram is life.
But
yeah, that's like last night was a perfect example. I read one page and I was like, see ya.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
So for me, that is a good thing. And then the phone's off and it's like on the floor and away. But yeah, it was just a matter of, again, it's easy for me to say as a dude with no kids.
Yeah.
But it's like, 20 minutes early, like whatever you can do to just steal that little bit of time. But then like all the flights I've done recently has been with
pretty sick
with books and stuff.
Yeah, that's what with this journey that I like the tour events is something that I'm definitely going to try and focus on is reading.
Yeah,
I got a few good books that have been handed to me that they're like, oh, you got to read these, and I'm like, sick. That's one goal is to try and finish at least one book in my travels. Yeah,
dude, for sure. And it's just one page a day, or like even if it's not a page, it's just like it just becomes again like that accountability thing. Like fuck, I got to read at least one thing, even if I reread or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's been good for me.
That's cool. I got inspired by a full like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like he was doing like some Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing a inspirational talk, and he was talking. Have you heard that?
No, I've seen it shared around.
And the one he's like, if you read 1 hour a day about history, just 1 hour a day, a whole year, obviously you'll have read 365 hours and you'll know so much more about history. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that does sound pretty cool.
Arnold, you're right.
Arnold, you're right, dude. But we're not all freaking Iron Men like you, and I don't know. But that was really cool. I was like, yeah, that's sick. That's something I would really love to do. Just be a little bit more knowledgeable on things that have happened in current events.
It makes it so much easier to understand shit, because I feel like that's where outrage comes from. Because like right now it's outrage culture. Like heavy outrage culture. Like, and then everyone can just lash out like fuck you, the Trump thing. Yeah. Like I would say that is like the Trump era. Yeah. And because I was still there when the Trump thing was going down, like when he was running.
Oh, you were in Temecula.
Yeah. Oh, I was in LA at this point. Yeah.
Oh, I don't even care. If it's not Temecula, I don't care.
Nah, bro, it got worse because I was traveling and we'd follow the series and it goes like Tennessee and fucking like we were Texas. We were just backwards, bro. And it was all anyone was talking about. Yeah. And like, we live in that outrage culture, but I feel like now, like, what was the thing I saw the other day? The fucking, you see those things that get shared on Facebook, and this is what it was. It was the black giraffe. You remember that picture went around of like the chick with the gun and the dead black giraffe? Have you seen that thing shared around on Facebook?
The dead black giraffe? No, I haven't seen that. But is that like a meme of some sort?
No. It's like a news article. Okay. So like Disclosed TV or BuzzFeed or whatever. So they'll post it as like, this woman just killed a rare black giraffe. It's like, so I saw it probably 3 years ago, and then I saw it again yesterday from like a different news source. Yeah. But they're just like trying to bait people and like get this outrage. But when I saw it originally, like a couple years ago, I was like, fuck, that's like pretty gnarly. And then I like read into it, and then because like,
hang on, was it an actual black giraffe?
No, or the thing was just old as fuck.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, is there such thing as black giraffes?
That's what they're trying to say. Yeah. They're like this rare endangered black giraffe, but the thing was just super old. Yeah. So, and like Adam Greentree's been on the podcast, so he's like the bow hunter dude. Yeah. So I've got like really into that, and then listening to like Shane Dorian and those boys sort of talk about it. So I was like anti-hunting at the start, and then I went down that rabbit hole, and I got knowledge. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. It's what they're doing is actually like a good thing.
Yeah, gotcha.
So anyway, you read into this giraffe thing, and it's like they're just killing the old giraffes for money, and then the tribe gets the money, and it's like that's how they live. And it's like, I can't really fucking hate on them for that. There's like 1 million giraffes in Africa. Yeah. But then it's like these like BuzzFeed or whoever the fuck's posting it, they're trying to make something out of nothing. And get like this outrage.
Clickbait, I feel like everyone does.
But it comes from
so many news sources do that.
I know, but you're educated enough to know that there's no such thing as a fucking black giraffe.
Well, fuck, I'm gullible enough to believe it just then. I was like, is there a black giraffe?
But at least you thought about it.
Yeah.
So people don't even think about it.
They're just probably like, God damn, black giraffe. Yeah.
Outrage.
Yeah.
And so again, it's like that's where I think that whole like reading thing comes in, because you really can't fucking trust anything you read these days on any of those sites or anything like that.
Yeah, that's actually a very hard thing in itself, is find non-biased information about anything. Anything from,
Well, the thing, I think
all genres of life.
I mean, it's not like books are totally foolproof in that respect, but it's like it's so much easier to write a blog than publish a fucking book that is sitting on a shelf.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I agree.
There's a lot more work that goes into something like a book. So if
what do you think about older books where they weren't persuaded by anything due to, I don't know, just social media? Like, do you like, would you trust an older book over a current book?
I don't know.
Or a newer book? Or like,
it depends what, I guess what it was on though.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
so
it does matter about the topic, but I guess if a book was published, say, 15 years ago, I guess there'd be less influence.
Yeah. Oh,
on what that person was actually writing about.
You know what else is a bit sketchy too at the moment is how many like self-help books are out there.
Yeah.
And like, there's definitely a weird culture of people, and this is like true on Instagram, like the whole Fitspo thing, like hashtag Fitspo, like that people just doing something again, like for the gram or whatever.
Yeah.
That there's like an industry in that now. And so I bought that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And like,
don't lie to everyone. You bought the Fitspo book, didn't you?
I bought everything. But I read like a few pages of it, and I was like, oh, okay, this is like, I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's a lot of people that like to spend time getting motivated.
Yeah.
You know, and there's like a culture and an industry around that now. And I think that's like its own little world that you've got to like learn to navigate as well. Yeah. In a way.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, how many books on motivation do you need to read before you actually have motivation? Yeah. It seems like you're only motivated to get motivation. Like,
that's so weird, but it's so true, man.
How many people have like a bookshelf or like a fucking Kindle or
just honestly just have The Rock on loop? That's all you got to do.
Even that shit I'm sort of starting to not like.
He's like, so motivational, it's almost too motivational.
But the problem,
it steers you away. You're like, fuck, I can never do that.
I can't be you.
I can't be you, dude. You wear like freaking 30-kilo chains around your neck everywhere.
Dude, he's a fucking straight savage. And he's not young either, eh? He's
how
like
old is
40 he? How old is The Rock? I reckon 44, 43. What are you saying?
45.
Oh, he's nearly 50.
Holy shit. Okay, this might stun you. How old is Kelly Slater?
44? How old's Kelly?
No, I know the answer to this.
Bring that closer.
I know the answer to that.
You can sit wherever
you
want.
No, I'm just like kind of floating around.
How old's Kelly?
This will shock you.
I text Kelly to come on the podcast, no response.
Really?
I'm putting him on blast right now.
Yeah.
He's responded before over a lot of other topics, just not the podcast.
Come on, Kelly.
I know. Get him on here. Maybe he'll be inspired by you.
Maybe, hopefully. That'd be cool. 47. I know that.
And still such a beast.
He's 20 years old. Is he? I think he's turning 48 too.
Just February 11th.
Oh, he just turned 47. Okay, cool. So he's exactly 20 years older than me.
That is insane. And you're going to be surfing heats against him.
Yep.
That's a fucking trip to think about.
That's fucking weird, man. He was. I think he won his first world title in 1992.
What year are you born?
1992. How weird is that?
That's like,
and he's still fucking dominating.
Who is better than him in sport ever?
Oh, I've had this argument so many times. Who is better than Kelly? When you break it down. The top. Yeah, he has to be. You put it in logistics, like you put it in if you just put it in like terms where every single sport a lot of team based, a lot of individual based. He's won 11 world titles. No one's basically gone double digits. Even Tom Brady, who's the greatest, six.
Yeah,
and he's got a team with him. You know, like he's not doing everything by himself. Like to me, Kelly is the greatest. Like not only surfer but athlete of all time. 11 fucking world titles over so many different generations of surfing.
And in a sport that changed so much.
And
basketball is fucking still basketball.
Yeah, he's at the forefront of surfing today. Opposed to when I was born, he was smashing it then. He's still dominating now. Like, there is still places where I feel like he could go unbeaten. Like, Chopu, freaking Fiji, Pipe, obviously, yeah. He's still the hardest guy. Still. At 47 years old. There was a point where I was like, come on, Kelly. Like, hang it up. Yeah, man. Like, you're the man. Like, you don't need to keep doing this. And now I'm like, fucking don't ever stop. Like, don't ever stop. I will be bummed when he retires because he's done it for so long. Everyone's like, oh, it would have been cool to see him retire after he won. But then I went through his transition. Well, no, I want to see him fucking still keep smashing generation after generation. All these like elite surfers.
But do you know why you want to see him still doing that? Because he fucking can, and he probably will.
He will. 100%.
That's why. Like,
that's why I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm like, don't.
The thing is, like Michael Jordan, you're like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Because you know he can't keep doing it.
Yeah.
And it will be this
True.
But fucking Kelly can.
Fucking Kelly.
He can, and he will. Like, he'll come back. Like, dude, how badass is it that he's on the QS right now?
I mean, he probably got paid bank to do that
really?
event. Yeah, probably.
Oh, to do that event itself.
He's not on the QS. He just did that specific one event. Like,
I'm just buying the hype, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just
I know.
on the hype train. I'm
Kelly's,
on that
you're starting a rumor. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Kelly's on the QS. No, he would have probably got paid a lot of money to do that, and then
as he should,
seeing he's the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah. I think the argument for the other best athlete of all time is Tiger Woods.
How? Yeah.
It's Kelly and Tiger, and I think that would be like the only one you could like argue is better, because for what Tiger Woods did in his career, and like he just won last year again at the top level, and like but they draw so many parallels, like individual sport, you're dealing with the weather as well as the competition.
I know how to end this debate though.
How do we end it?
Because if you were to make both of those guys switch sports, Kelly would probably
smoke it.
Kelly's a scratch golfer.
Yeah, I know.
He'd probably actually give Tiger some problems in golf.
He's got that old school Mo Norman swing and just fucking kills it.
Yeah.
Dude,
he wins.
Kelly's played St. Andrews.
And didn't he smash it? Didn't he play really good?
Yeah, I think he did play pretty good.
I mean, fuck, that's like, hey, Tiger, come surf Pipe, second reef. Nuh-uh.
Here's a helmet for your troubles.
Yeah, here's a helmet for your troubles. Yeah, we'll give you an inflatable vest. Like, you know? That's how you solve the issue right there.
Yeah, that's true.
That would actually be a really funny...
That'd be a fun day.
Yeah, if you go, okay, let's solve this problem, because they're still like really dominant in their sports. You guys should fucking have a game of golf and then a surf off for who's the greatest athlete of all time.
And like some kind of like remedial amount of money.
Yeah,
they
like
probably would.
$700 million.
Dude,
I don't know. Didn't they just play for like? Didn't him and Phil Mickelson?
Phil Mickelson played for like
20 mil? Was it 20 mil?
Not sure, but how's this? 4 years ago, Kelly Slater shoots 11 under par.
What?
At Pebble Beach.
Oh my god!
Where does it say that?
It's on the Stab article from 4 years ago.
No, Stab's
Holy
probably lying.
fuck.
No. Dude, no, Kelly is that good. So
no, I know.
That's
he's
how
fucked up.
A really good friend of mine.
And he's also pretty good at jiu-jitsu.
Dude, I know. Yeah, he's still a white belt, but he'd be like, again, because he hasn't gone to enough classes.
I think
Have you rolled him?
No, I haven't. I want to so bad.
Fuck, we should all just get together in the fucking dojo one day.
That would be so freaking funny.
How sick would it be to roll Kelly Slater?
It'd be cool. It'd be...
You'd fuck him up, though. Or is he just a wizard at that?
Fuck,
Like,
I don't know, dude. He's the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't matter how good you think you are. He's the greatest
Gets you
athlete.
In some weird ass loop choke that
dude,
you didn't see coming.
Yeah. Or he's got like crazy, weird, freaking greatest of all time strength. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
he's got old man strength.
He's got goat strength.
He's got old man strength and best ever of all time strength combined into one. And
I've only got dad strength. Like, it can only take you so far.
Yeah, you've just got dad bod strength. Dude, a friend of mine plays golf with him quite a lot.
Yeah.
And he says too that like the heckle level and like the mind games and everything like that is like the same deal.
Probably
like,
what's taken him so far in surfing, because I feel like those two sports are like mentally
insane, eh?
Yeah.
I was actually talking to a friend the other day, and he does jiu-jitsu up in Cairns. He's fucking straight savage too. He's like he'd be easy 40s, cunt's fucking shredded,
just jacked.
Oh bro, strong as fuck too.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the Kelly thing because he actually watched the Momentum Generation and he didn't know anything about surfing.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I actually think Kelly's a bit of a dick for what he did to the dude with the long hair. And then I was like, oh, the Machado thing.
Yeah.
And then I was saying like, you're looking at it from your perspective.
Yeah.
And I was like, no disrespect, but you're a fucking solid white belt at jiu-jitsu that competes once a year.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy that literally changed the entire fucking sport.
Yeah.
Like, you can't see competition through his lens.
No.
What he must feel when he is going for a world title.
Something that no one will ever know.
And nothing would matter to that dude at that point except for that. And
100%.
It's like friendship aside, The
thing that they don't elaborate on that movie is like they made such a big scene about that whole like Rob kicking out and the high five
thing
and Kelly getting priority. But the thing with priority is it just means you've got right of way on the next wave. And it kind of seemed like there was no wave after those two waves ridden that really
would have got a score.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it doesn't necessarily matter that he flicked out and got priority. It doesn't matter. Like, the three waves that they both caught have probably already been established.
Yeah.
I think they just kicked out with 5 minutes to go, and they both just went out and sat there for 5 minutes. So it doesn't matter that this. So that's one thing they didn't really elaborate. That was pretty strange in the movie.
It's not sexy though.
It's not sexy
to say that. It is sexy to build it up in the way, but I think that.
But it was like, it seemed like there was such a big, I don't know. They really built that moment up, and it felt like they were trying to like divide them again.
Yeah.
Into like, but there was nothing about it. Like, there was.
And if you look at Rob Machado, he's a dude that lives not out of a van, but he's got his sick fucking van that he takes down to Carlsbad and he surfs it every day, 2 foot.
Shapes his own boards.
Yep, solely as fuck. And then
so much soul.
But then you've got Kelly, and it's like, well, there you go. Like, Rob had a 6 season and could have won a world title. Kelly won 11. Yep. And it's like what made Rob give Kelly a high five is probably the reason that Kelly has 11 world titles and Rob Machado has 0 in a way.
Yeah.
It's like he made that decision because that's his personality. Like, he's that fucking cruisy, dope dude that has long hair and just soul surfs his fucking life away.
That's what I was saying in the movie. They built it up like, oh, he flicked out and gave Kelly a high five and lost priority. Priority's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, priority's nothing unless you take a wave off someone. Like, Kelly, I don't actually know much about that heat. I've seen that exact wave so many times. And it's funny how they tried to build it into something. But unless Kelly did that, stole priority from Rob, went out and was needing a score and then got a score, then that's a dilemma. But it seems like that didn't even happen. They just paddled out, sat there for 2.5 minutes, the heat ended, game over. Like, Kelly beat him.
I think though, like, from my putting on my like media sports head hat, I think that in that way though, it sort of symbolized surfing losing its innocence. Yeah. Of like, everyone's homies, no one cares who wins, we're just here on the dream tour fucking living it up. Yeah. And then it's like that, like, people, because it had changed already, like the Kelly era was starting to get momentum and people were taking it more seriously, and then you get guys like Andy that are growing up wanting to just beat that dude. Yeah. So it's like surfing was changing because of what Kelly was doing. Yeah. And I feel like that high five gave everybody in surfing and everybody in the media like one moment. This is where surfing lost its innocence. Yeah. This is the moment, because it's like, it's hard to fully encapsulate a cultural movement. So it's easy to like make, Kelly was already the poster boy for changing surfing. Yeah. And then that one moment symbolized the whole thing. That's how I look at it. Yeah, 100%. And that's a very deep way to look at it, 100%. And I can see how the general public would look at it. But if you take the rashes off both of those guys, you do the exact same thing. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I saw you getting spat out of a barrel, like, and there's 2 minutes to go in a heat and we both just had the heat of our lives, I'd probably sit up in the channel and give you a high five as well. Yeah. Especially knowing that Priority did nothing after the heat anyway. But yeah, I just think it was a convenient way to like, I agree. This is how we encapsulate how surfing's changed.
It would be nice to know exactly what Kelly was thinking, like what was his intentions behind it. But again, I feel like there was nothing behind it. I feel like it was just pure stoke. Yeah. That's how I see it, because coming from a competitor standpoint as well, I'm like, if you understand what happened after the heat, it's just, it's, to put it simple, it just looks like his friend got spat out of a barrel and then he was pumped. Like, you look at him, it's not like, because they actually showed the clip and it's not like he's paddling hard.
So they were like fully trying to slow-mo it and like
make it, have you seen it? I haven't yet. Makes it look so dramatic. Yeah. But if you see it from the whole, it's like as soon as Kelly gets so Kelly gets the first wave, gets an incredible wave, better than Rob's wave anyway, and comes out, like just gets so barreled, gets spat out, and he's way firing than the channel, and he kicks out, like sits on his board and sees Rob on a wave, and he's like, arms up, just going, yes, this is the best thing ever. But it's not like he like is paddling and then sees Rob kick out and then he's like, give me a high five. Yeah. It's like from the get go, as soon as he pulled out, you see him just
Ultimate froth.
Like, this is the sickest thing. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah. But you're a nice guy.
Yeah, I am. Fuck.
You're like, who knows? You're rose-colored glasses.
No, I would have run Kelly over. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't have.
It's that's just the way that I look at that situation.
Well, you gotta have you seen the actual footage of it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen it before a bunch of times, but like obviously.
Have you seen where it's like back to back, where you see his wave, him kick out?
I haven't looked into it
a lot of people.
Dude, how crazy was Kelly's wave this year at Pipe when he fucking got that full barrel, and then you're like, he's off, and then he like comes out of it, and he's just like on his gut.
I reposted that. That was psycho.
Like, I was like,
that's what I mean about like Kelly.
That's him.
Yeah.
That was like
fucking Kelly.
He's just a wizard, bro. And like,
he's a freaking wizard.
I don't know. There's got to be some kind of like mental fortitude that motherfucker has that no one else has. Like the zone that he would get in, and like people talk about flow state and stuff like that. Do you believe in flow state? Like,
I mean, I don't know, man. There's so many state of minds to be in as a competitor. Like, there is flow states. There's heaps of states, but I feel like with Kelly in particular, like he's just a master of his craft. And I mean, I think his awareness of everything that he's done has accumulated from his upbringing, which is shown in the movie. Like all of those guys, like anyone who's successful, he has this. It seemed like he had this unique way of channeling bad things into that he's had in his life to making something incredibly positive of it. Yeah, which is, I don't know if that's the flow state. I wouldn't have a clue, but it's just like he's got this crazy way of channeling things. Yeah. And I think that's the dividing factor.
Have you thought about like why you compete and why you surf? Like, because I think for a guy in your position, it's all you've ever done. And then obviously, like if you have the opportunity to be a professional surfer on the world tour making good money, that's what you're going to do. But have you thought about like why you do it, and
why do I surf competitively, or like, why do I surf in general?
Why do you want to compete and want to win? Like, have you thought about like you said, Kelly's channeling that upbringing and that energy, and he would, I feel like if you asked him, he would have like a fairly philosophical reason, and it would probably be, the stuff that you've said. Like, have you put yourself in that position and,
I haven't,
and like analyzed yourself?
I've never analyzed myself, but I do see a lot of similar traits, like with him and myself. I'm not saying I'm the greatest of all time, but
sure you are. You fucking.
I mean, you know.
Look at me.
Kelly, Tiger, maybe me. No, I'm just kidding.
Blue belt, white belt.
Yeah, blue
fuck
belt,
you,
white
Kelly.
belt, fucking whatever, dude. No, like I do see a lot of similarities in the way our upbringings have kind of made us who we are. And yeah, I actually, after watching that, I was like, fuck, that's a sick thing. The sick way of utilizing my anger and frustration. Like I could try and turn it into something where I could create something really positive of it. Mentally, I don't like. Why do I do it? Pretty simple, actually. I just fucking love doing it.
Yeah.
It's just simply for the love of surfing. Like I love being able to display what I can do.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep surfing, not competitively, but I'm gonna keep surfing even when I finish my competitive career.
Yeah.
Because I freaking love doing it.
Yeah. And would it have been, what was it about it then that originally got you hooked? Was it like an escape from everything that was going on?
For a lot of people it is. For me, nah. I just actually fell in love with the actual sport.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty spiritually connecting to Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something about riding a wave that's fucking super cool.
It's a pretty unparalleled feeling of like a board and then the resistance of water pushing back and then you can manipulate it.
Yeah.
Like it is a very surreal feeling.
It is. It's very strange.
I think it's one of the coolest feelings too. 100%. If you go snowboarding and skating and it feels powerful.
Yeah, and the better you get at it, the more you love those defining things. Like you love how you can manipulate the wave. You love how you can understand where to move your body, how to move your body, where you want to be, what places to put your board, like everything. I guess that's with every sport though. The better you get, the more fun it becomes.
Yeah, the more like nuanced it is.
Yeah.
Because it's the same, I think about when I watch you surf, I try surf every day. I'm home and there's waves.
Yeah.
And I'll get up, get down the line. If I go too far, I'll try and do a cutback and then that's my wave. And I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah.
But when I watch guys like you surf, it's like the way that you can see the wave and the way it's like the data processing of all the waves that you've ridden before, you can literally look into the future. Yeah. And like if you think about it, like when you're going down the line to hit the lip on like the end section of a wave, like you're literally seeing the future. You know where that wave is going to be. 100%. You know where. So it's like
that's a crazy way of putting it, but yeah, that's super true. That's what I was talking to you about earlier. Was just about the instinctual thing. That's, I think, what divides, the top few guys on the tour is the confidence of being in the present, and then also who's better at with their instincts. I think that's a huge thing too.
And with a guy like, it's funny because I like just having that conversation with that mate of mine from training. Yeah. I think about. So like say you go from the, Kelly changing the sport or whatever. Yeah. And then you go from there, it's like who was the next dude that changed it? I think you got like what Andy did.
Andy, Nick and Joel.
Yeah, and then I think like in recent times it was probably Gabrielle. The way that he would like paddle people up waves, and it seemed like that was almost like a little bit of a new thing in a way too.
I don't think for as good as he is, I don't think he's changed anything. Like, he's just been at the forefront of this evolving sport for sure. I think, if anyone, probably John and maybe Philippe.
Yeah. Dude, what John does is fucking crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Like, but you'd have to think that growing up in Hawaii with that as your backyard is got to do some weird shit to how you see a wave.
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah, it's a weird way to look at it, but I think for sure, like, definitely, like, he's got some of the most horrifying waves in his backyard, and that's what you got to grow up with. Of course, you're gonna, you're gonna be comfortable in like really bad situations, and that's where you see him thrive. Of course, he's got every trick in the book, but like when John is when it's generally, when no one even wants to like look at waves, you're like, holy shit, this guy is fucking next level. And then, like Gabby in the like last few years is starting to. I think he's starting to. I wouldn't say overtake, but I don't know. He's right there with John, and also I feel like Philippe's got some growing to do, but like aerialistic wise, he's the best.
Yeah, dude, him at J-Bay this year was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, not this year. Last year. Whenever he did 2 alley-oops on one way.
Yeah, whenever he just went psycho, you're just like, bro, you don't do that here, eh?
Yeah, he had the freaking dyed blonde. Yeah, that's my boy, fucking Felipe. You know.
You love that dude.
I love him so much, man. He's such a good dude. Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, that I remember that heat and just being like, well, this is a different thing now, right? If like everyone's doing that on every fucking way, everywhere you go.
Dude, he's psycho. Yeah. They're all younger than I am, like just a little bit, but I'm so inspired by them.
It's cool, like, you've got to feel good though after Omar, the way you charge. But like, for real, because sitting on the Goldie, you're not getting those waves. And then here comes this like crazy fucking swell. Yeah. And then you're pulling into like 10-second barrels, then you're getting another like you've got to feel like you can hang though.
I can hang there with him for sure, but the funny thing is, like, you give anyone those waves and who's on the top 34 on the world tour, they can do the exact same thing. Like I've been saying about that, it's so funny what one swell would do, but it's just like I've been waiting 26 years for those waves. And I finally fucking got him. 26 years.
Did you always dream of like living here and growing up here? Was that like you dream of that?
I actually did. Yeah, one of my childhood friends texted me after. I don't know how it became a thing, like an MVP of a swell. There's never been.
Yeah, dude, I read that.
I don't know how there's ever been. I don't know. I swear that started as like a inside personal joke. Yeah. Like between our friendship, and then somehow that got out into the world, and mainstream media like picked it up and it turned into a thing. And then one of my childhood friends, who I don't see that often, like texted me and was like, fuck, he like wrote this massive text of what I said to him like when I was like 11.
Really?
Yeah. And it was along the lines of like, oh, you know, like one day I'm gonna like grow up and I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna be the face of Coolangatta surfing or something like that when I was younger. And it's like crazy. That was like, after I got that text, I was like, fuck, like, everything's come into like fruition. Like being on tour, I'm the only guy from Coolangatta, the Gold Coast, on tour now, and then like having such a dominant run over that swell, I was like, whoa, this is kind of crazy to sit back and just be like, shit, like stuff's clicking now. Like, this is crazy. This is shit I was like trying to manifest when I was like a 11-year-old. What
do you think leads to like a good run in life as like an athlete and as a person? Because I've started thinking more and more lately that life has its own momentum, and if you ultimately are in control of that momentum, but at times you're not as well, because you can let something snowball out of control and end up fucked up, and then you're in a place where like drug or alcohol addiction or something like that. That's momentum. Momentum leads to that. It's like it's not that, and then there's one choice and one choice and one choice, and then all of a sudden you're in a place you don't want to be. Yeah. But do you think, well, I think that the same goes for positivity and positive momentum, and when you just say like that was a manifestation that came true. Yeah. It's like, when does that start? Like, can you see moments in your life that led to that? And it's like Banks and Alana and jiu-jitsu and whatever it is, and friends.
I guess it's probably just goal setting. Like if you're reaching your goals and whatever you choose to do, I feel like it gives you that sense of forward momentum and like you said, positive. Did you say positive momentum? Yeah.
Because I think that's real. Like
achieving your goals. Like they don't have to be crazy goals, but just achieving goals.
Are you aware of goals you're setting? Like, are you actively setting goals?
Like, it's like yes and no. I've got like subconscious goals. I've got big goals, but I've got subconscious goals too. Like that swell, for instance. I'm like, fuck. I would love to get the wave of this whole swell.
Yeah, right.
Boom. I ended up getting 2 of them, and I was like, that was. Man, that was incredible. That was like such a sentimental moment that over those swelled. But
it's cool because it means more than just those 6 days.
Yeah, like you have your small goal. I don't know, man. I've got so many. I like the subconscious ones. But the big goals, like make the tour, be top 5, win a world title. Like they're my big goals. But I like other subconscious ones is like be an awesome partner, be the best dad I can be. Like when I'm around my family, like be the best human I can be around there. Like just stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of a goal that I will never achieve, but it's always right there.
Yeah.
And it's always given me something to like kind of have that positive momentum towards.
And do you think you can see when it's working and like
when it's not?
And when it's not? Because I mean, I recently went through a part where I was like, fuck, I can feel some bad juju starting to, like it's not irreversible.
Yeah.
But you've got to be, I think that you've got to be aware of it. Like things that are slipping. And a lot of it was stuff that was out of my control. Like there was death in the family. There was some, weird, like even down to the studio flooding. And it's like, but if you let those things gather their own momentum without checking it, then it starts to be a problem. And then you start to be deep. And then it's like you get desperate to fix it and you start pushing stuff that's not there.
Yeah, I try not to let things that I can't control upset me. Like that's a huge thing. Like things that are out of my control, I try not to let them upset me one bit. But things I can control, and if I can't control them, that's what upsets me. So yeah, like this small goal, even though it's not really a goal, it's just like, I don't know, my motto for my life right now is just like trying to be a better dad, be a better person. It's like that stuff I can control. If I'm not being a good role model, a good partner or stuff, that's where I get pretty upset about. But all like that other stuff, like say for instance, if this was my studio, like that wouldn't upset me. It's just a common thing that happens. Yeah, it sucks, but it happens, and that wouldn't upset me.
I think the problem is when you lose that mindset that you've got, and then when you do start really letting it affect you, because I find the times where I'm like on a roll, like nothing can stop me. It's like when you literally have that attitude of like nothing can stop me. Yeah. And I think that there is those times, and that's when that negative shit builds up, is when you're like, it does, like you said, when you were sort of falling off tour or whatever, it's like you stop caring about certain results, and it's like you just let that shit get to you, and it's like you just go, oh, fuck it.
That's basically it.
You can catch it early.
Yeah. But when I was falling off tour, I was so distracted by such a good thing about, Alana about to give. Yeah. So like it almost felt like falling off tour was pretty like blissful. I was like, fuck, I'll finally get a break. I've been doing this shit since I was 15. Like, fuck, this is going to be sick. I finally get to like, even though I was competing the whole next year on the QS, which is probably even harder, but it just wasn't as time consuming. Yeah. I was really like looking forward to not being on tour. Yeah. Not going through those stresses and also trying to raise a freaking child. Yeah.
I've always wondered, because I've obviously grew up in the motocross world of being a young grommy racing fucking everywhere. Yeah. And I wonder what it's like as a grommy surfer. Like, how did that, was it like you and your dad rolling around in a van to events, or like how did it work for you?
I used to be a footballer, just like my dad. I was heavily into football. How did surfing actually come about? I think it was just I used to hang around with these just family friends a lot when I was younger, and their dad taught them how to surf, and we were kind of always at the beach, so I just wanted to try it. And I can remember like my first few times trying it, I fucking hated surfing. It was like so scary, and I was so bad at it, and like all these other kids who were younger than me, even though I was like freaking 8 or 9, they was like riding just whitewash straight all to the beach. I couldn't even do that. I was like, this sucks, like I can't even do it. And then we were just constantly at the beach and constantly give it a go, and then all of a sudden like something just clicks. It was just like I finally got to my feet, and I went I didn't go straight. I went along a wave all the way. I just went, holy shit.
That's what this is.
This is the coolest thing in the world. And then basically from that moment on, it was at Kira Beach. Little groin. Rest in peace, little groin. It's just got sand covered the whole groin. But basically from that moment on, I was like, I fucking hate football, every other sport. I just want to go to the beach 24/7 now and do exactly what I just did. And that was it. Like, it was just like hooked.
It's crazy that your first wave's at Kira, and then now you've like essentially you own Kira until the next wave, until the next swell. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm kind of the mayor of Kira right now.
You pissed on that shit.
Yeah.
And none of the dogs are gonna
like if anything, yeah, everyone has to come to me now.
They got to pay that tax.
Yeah, they got to pay that freaking Kira tax.
You stamp their passport from the surf there. Oh, that's so. But that is crazy. Like when you think about it, like if you think about, imagine if you could have that footage back to back of like your first wave riding along the wave, and then that trippy heavy barrel, and like that was day one of surfing, and like this is where I'm at now.
Yeah, man, I would pay endless amounts of money for that. That would be incredible. I can feel it in my. It'd just be cool to see it on a screen, but I can already feel it. It's so weird.
That's fucking sick. That's got to be such a cool visual of like, because that is literally a visual representation of how far you've come.
Yeah, I know. That's so strange, man. That's crazy. Tear-jerking moment right there.
It's hard to get an actual visual representation though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in theory, if someone had that footage, it's like, this is my journey in 2 waves.
I'm envisioning right now what it looked like, because I've seen the footage 100%, like a million times of Kira, that recent wave. But I'm like trying to visualize myself on the beach or what it would have looked like. And it would have just, this little weird Gumby kid just getting pushed onto a wave. Just like how every surfer's career generally starts. But I'm like, yeah, that would be so weird, because just those 2 waves are just so sentimental, and they're both basically at the same spot. Getting pushed into the whitewash to getting one of the best barrels ever. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's sick. And then to think about everything that surfing has given you.
Yeah.
And then think about the fact that Banks is born because of another surfer.
Yeah.
And then,
which I met through surfing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like everything in your life in between standing up on that wave and then that Kira barrel. You're gonna make me
fucking cry.
It's sick to think about that shit though, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's why I fucking love doing these, is because like it gives you the time to like just explore that stuff, you know?
Yeah. Like, we were like, even before coming and doing the podcast, myself and Alana were like, I love it. Every time we like talk about like how we met, it's so funny because we discover new things that we were like doing at that that specific time. And it's so cool revisiting the good moments in the past.
Yeah, and especially when there's like a lot of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and you can and you're like you said, you're in control of those things.
Yeah,
because I guess that's really what you want to do, is be in control of like having good times, right?
Yeah.
Some people don't, dude, which is like the shitty thing.
Yeah,
some people really aren't in. Like, think about how many things you've been able to do that are cool because you like wanted to do them and made them happen.
Yeah,
I was talking to a friend he's friends with Jackson O'Brien, actually. They're in Bali together, and he just quit his job.
Yeah,
and he was making like sick money as doing asphalt.
Yeah,
and he's purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and then we did that Thailand camp together, and then he that whole trip, and I was like filming, and like I went there because of my camera essentially, and I filmed the trip and put together a video. Did you go to
Thailand? Did you go? What were you doing, like a jiu-jitsu course there?
Yeah,
you were in Thailand.
Yeah.
I thought you would have been doing like a Muay Thai course.
Nah, fuck that shit. I don't want to hit people.
Yeah, cool.
I just want to put them asleep and walk away.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, shh. Go to sleep now, bro.
Bedtime.
Yeah. But it was cool because we met there, and then we got to be really good friends. He's another dude I talk to all the time now.
Yeah.
But he was inspired by the fact that I was just there, and like I got to go because they wanted me to film, and I filmed, and then me and Lachlan Giles did the podcast together.
Yeah.
So it was like this cool thing that came out of let's just like having a camera and going and doing it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, that was nearly a year ago, and he's like, dude, I'm going to quit my job. I'm just going to train pretty much full time. I'm going to drive Uber. I'm just going to train, and I'm just going to like see what comes of these opportunities that I'm going to make for myself.
That is so fucking cool.
And the motherfucker did it.
Yeah.
You know, he just left for Bali yesterday. So he's living with Jackson for a month, and he's just training at Bali MMA. And I said to him on the phone, like, what made me think of it is the way you said, like, it's cool to talk about those kind of things.
Yeah.
Because I said to him, he's like, oh man, I really want to see you before I went, but I'm going tomorrow. And I was like, fuck, sorry dude, like, would have been sick to see you.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, just take a minute to realize that you made this happen. You're going to Bali tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was almost a year ago that you said that you wanted to do this. Yeah. And I was like, you've quit your job. You've been driving Uber. You've started a personal trainer course. Like, he's got these ideas of what a little niche he could carve in jiu-jitsu for himself.
Yeah.
And then he's done that. And then now he's going to Bali.
Yeah. And
then I think he's going to Iceland to Gunnar Nelson's camp that they do. Louise. So he's going to spend this year just going to these camps.
Is he going to fight?
No.
Oh, he's just going to train jiu-jitsu?
Just training, yeah. So I think he's going to do like stand-up and stuff at Bali MMA. Just for like extra shit. But
just so he can go and spar with Gunnar.
Yeah. Yes, but he's just...
That's so brave.
But yeah, he's doing what he said.
Yeah. And that's incredibly brave.
And I said like, hey man, like, you should take a minute to realize
you followed up on what you
did this. And I sort of said that whole positive momentum thing. I was like, look at these things that you've put in place and you've done. And it's like, he went from being a guy that wasn't in control of his happiness, and he wasn't in control of his schedule. He went to work every day, then he did night shift, which fucked him up for training. Like,
fucking hell.
He wasn't able to like manifest these situations.
Yeah.
And now he is. And I just said, like, dude, take a second to realize
what you've done.
Like, you've done this. And
pretty incredible, man. That's inspiring shit.
Yeah. And it's the fucking average dude. You don't have to, I mean, obviously he's worked his ass off to be as good at jiu-jitsu as he is. That doesn't come easily.
Yeah, 100%.
But, you know, it's so much easier to not do what he did. Yeah. And, you know, to follow through. And I said, I really hope it feels as good as it should. Yeah. Because you made it. You made it happen, you know?
That's pretty cool. What was his reaction?
Yeah, he just said, oh, thanks for making me think of it.
That's pretty sick.
Because it's like...
unaware, like even until you brought that up, I was like, holy shit.
And I think it's important to like look for those perspectives.
Yeah, 100%.
In situation, because it can just make you appreciate something even more. Like, hopefully that Kira thing means even more to you now. Yeah. It's like, that was the same fucking spot. That's my entire life. All the good experiences and bad experiences and trials and tests have stemmed from those two fucking waves at the same beach 20 something years apart. It's like, it's fucking cool.
That's fucking wild.
It's
I'm just thinking about that, man. That's crazy.
What are some of the weirder things about the tour that people probably wouldn't know?
Like, that's pretty broad. That's pretty vague.
Well, you're saying before about it's not all like rainbows and stuff. Yeah. Because like, one of the things is people get shitty if you ever complain about something.
Oh man, I've seen it, and and they're right. I don't get to fucking whinge. Like that's how I feel. Like there could be worse things. I could be freaking lugging concrete around from fucking 5 to 6 every single day.
But at the same time,
but at the same time, surfing's so hard. Like,
no, but it's like, but I think what helps is to give people context of like some random shit where you're like, dude, that actually would suck.
Yeah. Gosh.
I guess it doesn't even have to be like negative stuff.
It's not like negative shit. Just weird shit is traveling with 2 board bags is kind of nightmarish. The amount of times I fucking pull my back out with carrying 2 board bags full of like 6 boards each and wetsuits and all that shit. Yeah, it's not that fun. Paying a lot of money in excess, oversized baggage.
So how does it work then? That's actually something I've always wondered. So is there someone that is like, say, Billabong? Yeah. Are they just like paying every bit of travel, or is it going on like a credit card and then you're having to do invoices to them for like excess, or like, how does that whole deal work?
No, they just basically pay me a wage and it comes out of that. Sometimes I do have a travel budget, but usually that's allocated to like bringing a filmer or my coach. So
So
everything basically comes out of my own pocket except for expenses for coach or filmer.
Yeah, right.
So I'm paying for myself, which is pretty mellow. It can and can't be. Depends how good you are at booking stuff.
You're probably not that good, judging.
No, I'm
fucking
laughing. Good, man. I'm a wizard at booking shit.
Do you have an agent or you just do it yourself?
No, I just do it myself.
Yeah,
I did have an agent for so long, and it got to a point where I was like, I started doing it, and then I got really good at it, and now
Have you got any insider secrets to like what your go-to is?
Booking flights and accommodation. Think outside the box. Everyone's always like, oh, you got to fly. I had staff travel for like 2 years, and it would help me so much
to like realize the ins and outs of it.
It helped me so much realizing that to get to one destination, you don't have to go one particular way, and you can get to the certain destination cheaper, quicker, and more luxuriable if you think outside the box. So like, that's basically my one tip. I don't want to tell everyone just in case they end up on my set flights.
They start like getting on your flights and shit.
They start stealing my seats. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's just thinking outside the box, man. Like I said, there's more ways to get to one destination than sometimes there's not, but like 99% of the time there is.
Are you one of those dudes that is able to, or like you try and really stay in the moment when you're at places? Because I know with me traveling, how much I did with the film stuff. Yeah. I got super jaded by everything, and like I'd be in France and not giving a fuck. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you should have like taken that extra time to like savor it. But again, like, because we were the same with camera gear, so we'd be taking like, do you remember the drones you used to have?
It's pretty bad
back
because
in the day,
because you'd get heckled for that stuff.
Oh,
like,
bro, fucking
like going through customs and shit. Oh my god, yeah. Like every time I has to go take out their whole bag, basically give them a detailed like picture on like explanation of what this is, what this does, batteries, lenses, and it's bad. Like I can imagine.
And then by the time you get there to this location where like you were at one point pumped to go, you're kind of over it. So like, I don't know, I've tried to get better these days at like being more in the moment. Yeah. But like, are you one of those dudes, or have you found yourself getting pretty jaded by that shit?
Yeah, I'm pretty jaded by that stuff. Like I try to not let it affect my moods as much as possible. It's definitely part of the job. I know that. It's not bad. But usually we're going to these really luxurious, like freaking amazing places, but it's just to compete. Yeah. So like, we get a day or two to like, I don't know, you could say do tourist activities, but generally we're like always just focused on the craft and the preparation. It's just like you can, but you can't. Yeah. Depends how much you want to explore. But like we've been to some of the sickest, like I went to Rio for like, in Brazil for like, took me like 3 years to get to the Jesus Christ statue.
What do they call that thing?
The Rio
mix on it. Have you done jiu-jitsu in Brazil?
No.
Oh, you got to do that one day.
I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu when I went there.
Okay.
What's it called? The Christ Redeemer. Is it Christ? Yeah, Christ Redeemer. Yeah. Okay. So fucking sick story about that. We somehow ended up in this really cool with my coach at the time, Stace Galbraith. We met this guy who, his son's really into surfing. He owned some form of tire that the whole F1 used. And so that company that he owns sponsors the Christ Redeemer to like keep it maintained. Yeah, right. And like cleaned and everything. So one of the benefits of that was like we got to go inside, like, so you get to the Christ Redeemer statue and it's like the most exotic thing in the world. Like your heart could melt. And like we walked up there and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like it definitely lives up to the hype. And he's like, no, we're going to go, like you're going to come up into the actual statue. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
how does that work?
I don't know. So we got this like weird like elevator thing up. No one gets to do it. Yeah, like fucking the famous have been there. No one gets to do it. and like we get to go up into this statue and like walk around, and there's photo, like we've got photo, I got a photo on my Instagram, we're like inside the head of Christ Redeemer doing a selfie. That's pretty funny. It's the one time I've got a selfie.
Really?
It's with Christ Redeemer.
That's a fair. Tom Brady and Christ Redeemer.
Yeah,
that's
seriously.
Who you get a selfie with.
Yeah, that's it.
That's so heavy.
It's so bizarre, man.
Don't.
What's that?
South America.
I was going to say.
Pirelli. Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's the title.
Yep, that's it.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's a fucking random story.
Isn't that a random story?
That's amazing,
it's
though.
It's fucking incredible. And I would never go back there because
Yeah, you can't ruin the experience.
Yeah, I've done, like, I went up.
You've done everything you could do.
What else can you do?
There, you can't,
conceive in the actual statue, like, yeah.
Which is probably some weird rules around that.
That's probably a sin. I don't know, but like, fuck, like, yeah, man, that was psycho. It was so funny because there's helicopters going around, and that's what like part of the tourist attraction is like you go and you drive. You fly like right close to the statue, and our friends just so happen to be in a helicopter tour.
No.
Like, yeah. And they've got photos of us like giving them the finger outside, like ruining their photo. But it's like the most contradicting like thing you could do. Like inside
Jesus,
so thug life. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But like they were like, who are these idiots inside? Like they're ruining us.
And they
didn't know it was us.
You.
No, we were just like being idiots, like just doing something silly. And it was actually all of our good friends.
And you didn't know it was them either?
I didn't know. No, someone was like, "Oh, imagine if you gave him the finger," and we were all just like, "Ah!" Like we just accidentally did it, and it was the funniest thing happened. It just happened to sort of be our friends.
And you could get that photo back.
No, I don't know if they took photos.
Oh, okay.
But they said to us, they're like, "Oh, we went to the Christ Redeemer up in the helicopter, and like there was people standing inside the head, and I think they were giving us fingers, and we were like, that was us." Like,
no way, dude.
Pretty funny.
So, but it took you 3 years of going to Brazil to go to that statue.
Yeah, and we were Rio, like it's
right there.
It's right there. It's just that's what I mean. It's like you go to these crazy exotic places, but because you're always competing, you don't. It's like hard to get out of your element.
Yeah, the big thing we just did that Vietnam thing that I was saying before, and it was so sick, dude. Like because you're not like my mum actually said you sort of end up in Hanoi, and we were on the like right in the city, and like it's fucking polluted, and like by this point it was 10 days of riding like 8 hours a day. I was starting to get sick, and I was just fucking over it because of like I feel pollution. And I was like, I just fucking want to get back to Australia where there's some like fresh air. And I it got in my head, and I was like negative about it. And then I just couldn't let go. And Mum was like, can you imagine if you just come to Hanoi and just had this experience? It's not Vietnam. It's not the same thing. But we started in Da Nang, and then we rode 2,500 kilometers. And dude, we went through these little villages that straight up their kids, like 10, 11-year-old kids, never seen a Westerner.
That's fucking crazy.
It was fucking sick.
That's
like,
pretty psycho.
I got like the little drone out, and I'm like getting footage and stuff. And there was this one little village we stopped at. It was the most beautiful, like beautiful, but like crazy bizarre at the same time, because it's like it's just this one road that's like snaking its way through the mountains, and it's like right on the Laos Vietnam border.
Gotcha.
It's so far from anything, like any big city. There's just nothing around, and these people, because it's like communist, they get a bit of land on the side of the hill, and they cut all the trees down, and then they'll start by they just build like a
big fucking
like a hut, and then they'll...
Oh, I thought you were going to say like a freaking... like a massive structure of some sort.
Well, they do.
Like a tower or something.
Well, they start building these like... there's like some random shit like that. But just the average person, they grow rice. Or corn like on the side of the hill. And then they just slowly start building up these houses. So like we saw some people that were like right at the beginning phase of that. Where they've like just got this random little... like kind of timber structure with like straw on the as a roof, but then next door there's like this fucking dope house essentially.
Gotcha.
And you'd sort of see like that full spectrum.
Yeah.
And they just put like literally the side of the road. This is where our house is going to be. We're going to have kids. We're going to farm rice. And so it was like a really crazy experience, but to ride through everything.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I know what Vietnam is like as a country.
That's
now.
pretty crazy, man.
Like I experienced all of it.
You would have had so much like so many feelings going through there.
Bro, like straight up, we were riding one day and this group that hog-tied a cow.
Yeah.
And it's on, again, all these villages are just on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like, because it's all in mountains.
Yeah.
They're like dug into this bit of the mountain and then they've dug into that bit of the mountain. And then generally there's like a river and then rice fields. And then they've got these bamboo, like watering irrigation system where like it paddles. So you got the river and then it forces the like windmill thing sort of up, it drops the water in, and then they irrigate the fields from like the river. It's crazy, dude.
That's crazy.
It's like all made out of bamboo
and they
shit.
built it all themselves.
Yep.
That is fucking cool.
And the bigger, like the higher up the valley the rice paddies need to go, they just build a bigger fucking
a bigger funnel thing.
Yeah, like it's just like it looks like a windmill.
That's psycho.
And so it's just all them. And it was like, it was weird because you know how you live and then you see how they live. But yeah, we come around this one turn, dude, and there was just a cow with its fucking throat cut. Yeah. And it was just spraying blood all over the road.
That's fucking next level, man.
It was full on.
That's
and we're just
a
like,
nasty picture.
Dude, we're just like, whoa, and then it was gone. So like that was, but it was crazy because that's just like 1 second of my life. Ugh. That will stay with me forever.
Yeah, it's like a haunting fucking memory.
It was like it painted a real complete picture of their life though. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like,
did you ever get a feeling of that, like the sense of like war? Like, did you ever like the? Did you ever get a feeling of that? Like, dude, what it would have been like?
I'll show you a crazy
to be there
picture.
During that time.
I didn't really think so much about that, but what I did think about is like the craziest thing. I just want to find this picture for you, dude. I'll never do it, but this is dude, it was just so crazy.
I don't need to see you.
No, there's no dead cows. Look, so this is the rice paddies, are the rice fields, and they just irrigate them from these like windmill sort of deals.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And that's just how they live. But I'll try and find this photo of, I forget the photo I was even. And
you're gonna pull out, and I'm gonna show you my Crash Redeemer.
Oh, this is what I was looking for. Yeah, I was gonna say we need to see that photo.
Oh, my phone's dead. So
this is like super close to just where we're hanging out. All those are bomb craters from the war.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Just like grenades or what?
Nah, like fucking B-52 dropping bombs, man. And there's just bombs just exploding everywhere, all over the ground. And it's just like villages, just people everywhere. So that is still 2019. There's still, and like they're just everywhere.
Still carnage from the war. Look, that's just like, oh crazy, my God.
Dude. And like, so the crazy thing with that,
they've just built around it.
Yeah, well, they use them too as like, because obviously it fills up with water and stuff like that. But the crazy thing is, I'll show you the next.
Is that rice paddocks?
What
is that?
That is probably eucalyptus. So that's the other real sad thing is that, so all of that, so like see how it's just like forest and then nothing? Yeah. So that's because of the Agent Orange. So nothing will grow there. So really? So this will give you some context. So that is the very next frame over. So that's me just zooming the drone around like 90 degrees. So that's like a super popular tourist destination now. They're like these huge caves. So what the Americans were trying to do was they were trying to bomb those caves so the Vietnamese couldn't hide Twitter. Yeah,
I just said low, even for you. I just saw that.
Who knows what that could be?
Yeah, who knows? I was just like, oh God, that's funny. Yeah, so go on.
But yeah, so the there's like these caves and they're fucking beautiful, dude. Yeah. Like you go.
Did you go in one?
Yeah, you go in the boat for like 20 minutes, man. You just keep going in the things. Yeah. And what the Americans were trying to do is just close that cave off because they could hide shit in there.
Yeah, wow.
So it's like, here's this beautiful...
Wonder what they were hiding in there.
Probably just infantry, bombs, fucking everything, food, you know, that sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah,
it was crazy.
It's crazy the perspective that you get of like that's what war actually does to a landscape. That's what they would like
change
now,
the face of like that whole freaking area.
Yeah, and it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to.
I mean, that looks pretty incredible.
Like straight Jurassic Park shit for days, man. We rode the Western Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Yeah.
And it was in one day we rode for 8 hours. It was like 2,500 corners.
Yeah.
And it's like a mountain range kind of. There's like I think we went straight for longer than 300 meters 6 times.
Yeah.
So we're just on these bikes, just pinned, dude, just fucking cruise. There's no one else around.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the whole time it's blowing your mind.
Yeah.
But it speaks to what else is in a country than just like where you fly in and fly out.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get a perspective of the whole thing.
Yeah,
so like you said, you know, you're flying into Rio and it's like it takes you 3 hours to get to 3 trips just to get to there.
Yeah.
So it's like you might have gone to like Brazil
20 minutes away.
Yeah, you might have gone to Brazil, but have you been to Brazil?
Yeah,
in that way. So I think that trip in particular gave me like a really good perspective of how you should travel to like really see shit.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, that's what I try to do now. Just be a little bit more conscious of like where you are. It's like, fuck, there's usually a lot of history like everywhere we go.
Yeah, oh dude, insane.
Everywhere.
And I think that driving places, that's how you see shit, because it's all the connect the dots.
Yeah.
And then you like that was the thing with America. Like I've driven across America twice.
Yeah.
And you really get a perspective of like what America is. And if you go from California to Atlanta, then you know why Trump won.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like you don't need to be watching TV. You don't need to like.
I was in Florida last year, man. I met some interesting people.
What were you there for?
I was there for a surf contest. Probably the worst surf contest ever.
Where was it?
Amazing. Like the people that run the contest are amazing, but it was in Virginia Beach.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Florida is a weird place, bro.
Fuck, man. There's some,
heavy shit goes down.
Heavy shit, dude. Strange things.
Yeah, that's
that was one place I'm like, I'm in, I'm out. Like,
how much time did you spend there?
I spent like 4 days.
Really?
Yeah.
And you got to see enough?
I've been there before. I've been there once before, like to the exact same place. I went actually by myself this time because like no one would like, no, I'm not going. I was like, fuck, I needed to. I was like right in the cusp of qualifying. I needed points. I'm like, I got to do it. I got to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, but I did. And I ended up going there losing like first round. And I was like, it was such a depressing trip. And then just met some interesting people. Like I was around good people, but other people that I met was so fucking out there.
And in what, like just the people that you'd meet at like gas stations or like in, you know, what sort of people were they?
Oh, man.
Obviously, don't put anyone on blast.
Yeah, I'm not putting anyone on blast.
From Florida.
Like there was. Man, it's hard not to put anyone on blast because I just don't want anyone to see it. But
no, that's fair enough.
I mean, just interesting characters.
Just the general vibe.
Yeah, just people. Our personalities just definitely don't match. Definitely, and our beliefs and thoughts, like we don't. Nah, we don't match.
Fuck, it's hard to be around those people too,
it's
and
very
like when
hard.
You get forced around them.
Yeah.
I think that's always been my drive to work for myself.
Yeah.
Is I've always struggled to be around people that like if I don't like you, I just cannot hide it. For whatever reason.
Really?
Like, I struggle so bad, man. And like it's a negative in a lot of ways of like causes problems that I wish I didn't have.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of the coin, it's a blessing because like people who some people don't even have enough courage to even like do that. Well, I guess there's like two sides of there is a good thing when you can bite your tongue and just get along with everyone and then you sort of don't have those issues, but then you have to internalize a bunch of like really fucked up feelings
and suppress it, and then like 20 years later it all just like fucking
straight rage. But for me, what how that relates to business is like I had jobs when I was younger. I've pretty much been self-employed my whole life.
Yeah.
Because I'd have a job and I'd just be like, that guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it.
Would you say it to his face?
100%.
Yeah.
But like, try not be like, you're a fucking idiot. But be like, hey man, like you're completely wrong. Like what you're doing's not okay, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then that causes problems, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
But it was the same at school. If I had a teacher and I'd be like, yeah, I don't like you, dude. I can't be around you.
That's pretty funny.
But like,
that's cool.
But what I see, like now it's good because I've been doing it long enough. Like I get to pick everyone around. Like Mick, I hang out with Mick all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking love that dude.
Yeah.
I like him being around. I choose for him to be around. Like all my friends. And then I think that the one side that's good is like in the same way that I can't hide if I don't like someone, I also can't hide that I do like someone. So it's like you get like a, you know what I mean? Like you get a real good version.
Have you ever done a podcast with someone you don't like yet? No.
Because
you don't choosing to be around. Yeah, makes sense.
And that's like but that's where I feel for people where they can't do that because it's like work is the environment. Like how many people do you know that like hate people they work with or hate their boss?
Yeah, true.
And like it's unnatural to be forced to be around someone for a long period of time that you just don't like.
Yeah,
that's not a natural feeling. Yeah, like the way you felt with that whoever in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if you had to be around that dude for 20 years?
Fuck, man.
Bro, that's real to people.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's where, like, I understand, like, mental health issues. Like, fuck, yeah. If you're putting yourself in, like, a toxic environment every day, it's got to have some very bad effects on you.
Oh, man. And the thing is, like, there is ways to get out of it, but there's, like, a cycle. When you're stuck in a fucked up.
Well, that's when you're talking about your friend who was just like, fuck this. Like, you know, he was doing what he was doing. He was making good coin. And then he just backed himself. That's incredible. A lot of people don't have that confidence to do it.
And it takes that to break the cycle.
It takes something dramatic to break the cycle,
And it's so scary to people that, especially, like, imagine if you got kids and you got all that sort of shit as well, like, and external pressures.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Well, I think that's the other thing, like, when I look at your group of mates, like you and Mitch and that crew, like having a super solid group of people around you where you know they've got your best interests at heart, that is fucking key in life.
Yeah, 100 million%. Putting yourself around people who, you know, share similar, just putting yourself around good people who share similar interests. Or just goals of any sort, man. Fuck. It benefits you so much. Like I feel like sometimes my friends are more my family than my family.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
That's like the vibe I get with you guys is like you are a bit like a little family.
Yeah.
And it looks like
definitely
you guys raise each other in a way.
Yeah.
Especially through surfing and competitive surfing and stuff like that. It's funny how those cliques emerge. Like you got Paco and Mick and those guys, and it seems like you guys have a bit of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's weird, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's like how just everything comes together. Life is a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to get. How long have we been going for, Mick?
Just on 3.
There we go. Just on 3 hours.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's us done. What's your time? Did
2:44. No, that's so funny. I was like, I'll meet you at the gym at 12, Alana. Phone's been died. Phone's been dead for like almost 3 hours.
The podcast has him now.
Yeah, that's it. I am trapped.
It goes quick, but eh?
It does, man. Who knows? Who knew you could have so much fun just talking for 3 hours?
Yeah, and you know what, man? Fucking do it more, people that listen, because like that's the one thing that there is something I think that is deeply primal about it. Because if you think about way back when, all you had was a fire and some stories of a nighttime.
That's crazy. Like honestly, I didn't even, until I went to show you my Christ, I didn't even think about my phone, which is huge. Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, and
getting caught up in conversation. I like need to bring these everywhere with me.
Yeah, just only
like
listen
lock
to people.
into people, like lock into their conversations.
That's what I was saying before. This has a way of doing that.
Like, you get I feel like I'm so intrigued with what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it's a cool experience, and that's what that's why I love getting people I've never met, because especially now, like if you think about people that maybe say you've met someone in like the last 2 years. Yeah. How would you have accumulated 3 hours of total conversation with somebody you met 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
That's such it's a hard question to answer.
And it's like,
yes, no.
There probably is people you have.
Yeah.
And there's probably people you haven't.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
that is one thing, like whenever anyone asks about the podcast or what it's like, I'm like, dude, you should do that, because the friendships you can make with a 3-hour conversation is crazy when you really want to listen to someone or someone wants to listen to you. It's a cool deal. And I think that's why it goes so quick. There's something weird that makes people actually crave that when they're doing it, sort of thing.
Yeah, gotcha.
Even if you don't know. So...
Well, I had a good time anyway.
Appreciate it. Is there anything you want to say, shout some people out, point people to?
No, man. I feel like we covered some bases right there.
So follow you on Instagram at Jack Freestone.
That's it.
Yeah, even though he won't look at it now because he's a fucking book nerd.
That's it, yeah. I'm a bookworm from now on. Instagram, what's that? Yeah.
It's the word. So you will be surfing at Snapper Rocks, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. It could be it could be Burley, it could be D-Bar.
Fuck, I hope it's Burley. That's easy for me.
Yeah, it's right down the road.
That's fucking,
Yeah, I've heard rumours and whispers that it might be.
Yeah, right. Fucking Omar. It's good for you.
Yeah, great for me.
Sucks for me.
Well, as MVP of Omar, hopefully I can be MVP of the Quickie Pro.
Yes, that would be sick.
And then MVP of the world.
I would really enjoy that.
That would be funny.
I hope that comes true.
Thank you.
It can happen.
It can happen.
Wilder shit's happen.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for coming. And
thanks, legends.
That seat will be open for you whenever you want it. Appreciate your time, because I know 3 hours is hard as a dad. Right there, we just jacked your time.
I'm just going to get back and charge my phone and get a lot of abusive texts from Mama Bear.
Well, you can blame me.
Yeah, that's all good.
All right, cheers, dude.
Thank you.
Awesome, bro.
Oh.
I didn't think that was 3 hours.
Fuck, that was a good yarn. That was a good chin wag.
Yeah.
I feel like I've just